Oh, what you man saying though?
Yeah.
Everyone's weak. That.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hey, that's good.
That's good, man.
Hey, you know you don't normally hear those kind of. No, you ask someone that what's good.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
It's
alright.
It's usually just saying.
Yeah. You don't really hear life's good, which is good.
Yeah,
Nah,
word to
it's-
Future and Drake still.
But yeah, man, that's good, man. Do you know what it is as well, bro? Like, listen, ups and downs are always gonna happen. Bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's just like
That's part of it.
just one of those things, bro. Like, when does it become a thing where it's like, yeah, it's just ups and downs, man, but life is good. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So just trying to like reframe how I look at
Thinking,
things.
No,
innit?
no. It makes sense. I remember, what year was it? Had a rough year. I think I went working one year. And I was thinking, bro, there's no bread. But that year, I had a blast. It's mad. Because I used to look back at that year and think, bro, like, oh, what a sad year. Like, we weren't working, boom. But that year, I think I went Sweden twice. That was, I went
With no
Afro-Nation.
bread.
You got to question the priorities still.
You know what it is?
But no, already got to see the twice.
You
You
got
got
to
once, you
remember
know.
that. Bear of these trips here are already pre-planned.
Yeah, okay,
Nah,
cool.
Do you get me? So from the year before, all these things are on the card.
Yeah, on the
Do you
card.
get me? Went Afro Nation that year.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Wow,
bear in mind,
you enjoy it.
And that was
No,
the first
yeah,
thing.
but
yeah,
bear in
yeah,
mind,
yeah,
bear in
yeah.
mind, even with that year, I think Eman shouted at me and said, oh yeah, I booked it. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So Eman messed it. I remember, I'll never forget, because the year before I was at work, and Eman was like, oh, what are you saying? I said, I don't know.
Mm.
Eman messaged me, he said, I booked it. I was like, huh? So went there. I think I went, where else? I went one more place. And then the year just, there was different events, different birthdays. I think people were turning maybe
What year was
21.
this? Like 2020?
Nah, 19,
innit?
2019.
19.
So before lockdown.
Before
Yeah,
lockdown.
Okay, cool.
But bro, that year, I think there was lots of 20. What birthday was that for people? 2019, like 20.
Was it 20? 25th.
Was it
25th?
a landmark? I feel like it was probably 25th for people.
I can't remember.
I can't remember, but
When did
basically
you go to LA?
That was
Did you go to LA 18?
18.
Nah, 2018 was 25th.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
But 29, there was just bare birthdays, bare events,
yeah,
people
yeah.
celebrating. But I was out of work.
Mm.
Do you get me? So I was sad, but I'm also having a good time.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
sometimes it's hard to reconcile both of them. Do you know what I mean? And it's easy to be like, oh, bro, it's a bad year, man. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't working the way I wanted to. I didn't stack the way I wanted to. The flip side, bro, man had a ball.
You probably weren't feeling that
I
at the
probably-
time
do
as
you get
well.
me?
You was having
Yeah.
fun.
I was having fun, bro. And obviously there's ups and downs. So there's certain moments, it's sick.
When the
Other
music
moments,
fades.
you're just thinking, bro.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not working here, I don't know if you have experienced this, but it's all fun Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah,
But
'cause
Monday
that's when
now,
everyone's not
yeah,
working.
yeah.
It's like,
Monday
nah,
blues and that.
your bridges aren't around because they're working.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Mhm.
On
yeah,
Sunday,
yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, man, it's calm, you're chilling. Everyone's like, yeah, I got work in the morning.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, no, all right, bro. But these times, it's not the same for you, innit?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, just to say that kind of, that balancing something of ups and downs,
Yeah.
but overall, still a good time. I
Mm.
think we need to embrace it more.
It's necessary.
It's
Absolutely.
necessary still.
For sure.
I mean, us life is, bro,
It's literally part of life.
it's part of life
Yeah,
still.
man.
I feel like it's hardwired for us men to kind of think like that as well, though. We got to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
So whatever kind of comes our way, as men, we kind of have to be like, we'll deal with it,
Yeah.
handle it.
for
There's
sure.
always a solution.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we have that from such an early on, I don't know how it is for you, man, as well, but you lot probably can agree, it kind of attracts the skill of problem solving because you kind of start that from earlier on, whatever it might be, whether it be personal life or business or kind of work stuff. You have that knack to just be like, you know what, I'm going to get over this, or I'm going to get through this, or I'm going to be able to handle this.
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what
No,
I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Yeah. Facts still.
There's a lot of pressure though. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's a lot of pressure to like
Facts.
just always like, regardless of what it is, just take it on the chin. Pause, but do you know what I mean?
I think the extent to which you do it is what kind of like we might take on too much sometimes.
Mm.
To get so obviously
Yeah.
like there is definitely the mantle that's like, you know what, let's roll with the punches.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
kind of like let's think of the solution. Let's do X,
Yeah,
Y, Z.
yeah.
But sometimes I think what the man them do is they take on way too much to their own detriment. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about like just wanting to do without just saying, you know what, actually I can't really like admitting basically,
Yeah.
like, wow, you know what, it's actually
We
too
don't
much.
like doing that.
Or I can't do this thing. It's just like you just want to keep going with that kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. what to call
There's
it.
always an expectation though.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No matter what
From
stage of
who
life
though?
you're
Is
at.
it from ourselves or
I think it's
our
a mix-
mandem or like?
I think it's a mixture, you know.
Yeah, it is a mixture.
I think it's a mixture. So I feel like, to be fair though, you know, the mandem I've never said to mandem, oh,
I can't do this.
I'm under pressure.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, both. I've never said I'm under pressure, bear, and I can't do this.
Mm.
But even if I have alluded to it, they've never said, "Oh, boy, you just got to do it." Do you get what I'm trying to say? None of them have ever said that.
Yeah,
Like, just don't worry about it, man. Just run.
You ain't spoken to man, boy.
I have that, my darkest time.
Hey, do you know what it is, yeah? I feel like when it comes to, I feel like even me, myself, I don't like saying I can't do something. There must be a way, bro. Like, where there's a will, there's a way, bro. I got to find a way to do this thing, innit?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think in terms of like the pressure, sometimes I feel like what actually causes more pressure is the fact that, oh, if I don't do this, then I'm not. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Exactly. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I think that's what adds like the crazy pressure. Because when you break it down, a lot of the time I feel like, or when I'm talking to someone about something, yeah, and they're like, right, they got bare to do. And even me, when I got bare to do, the first thing I start doing is, cool. Like, get rid of all of the like kind of thoughts that are just gonna waste my time and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Cool. What have I got to do? Let me compartmentalize and then cool. Start making small steps in each thing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I feel like if we all tackled it like that, even though sometimes things are physically too much, you can't be in two places at once and all that kind of stuff. Do you get? I think a lot of the time it's just the fact that people are just like, raw, like if I start dropping like these plates or whatever it is, all these spinning plates and that, like people are gonna look at me like I'm Jazz or boom, boom, boom.
And you know as well, I feel like so with me, like I can't really in it, but like I don't ask for help if I need help. And then, like it's more so like if somebody is like, if one of the man them are like, oh, do you need help with X, Y, and Z? I'm like, oh yeah, you can do X, Y, and Z. And even in certain times when those sorts of things, I'm kind of like, even though I can, like I might be able to manage something, but I can lighten the load by somebody else helping me out and doing it. You know what I mean? So even when somebody asks, Rah, do you need help? There is that element of, oh no, it's calm. Then be like, you sure kind of thing. You know what? Can you help me with X, Y, and Z? Innit? Like there's not that, not like natural, but like I don't really ask for help for stuff just in general.
But that's a British thing as well, though, isn't it? In terms of like,
You reckon, or is that an African thing?
I think both, but I think the British thing is like asking people stuff without actually. So, how you doing?
Yeah.
If you start saying, I'm not feeling well, they don't actually want you to say that.
Yeah.
They just want you to say it quickly and then cut. For example, like offering someone something, be like, do you want one? Whatever. Like, you kind of want the person to just say no and let's just move on.
So why are you offering the
person? But that's what I'm trying to say. But that's the British thing to do. Like, because it's polite, innit? It's nice. Do you get what I'm trying to say, innit? So it's like, let me offer it because it's the polite thing to do and all that kind of stuff. But then I think with the AF thing as well, the AF thing is like not putting anyone out, not showing anyone that you need anything. I think that thing is AF as well, to be fair. In terms of like, no, we'll handle it. Don't worry, we're good. We've got this. But I feel like it could have worked when we had community and everyone was part of we've got this. But now everyone's an island, bro. So it's different.
I think there's pros and cons to it as well, if you really look at it. Like it's nice to be able, like I mentioned earlier, to problem solve things as well.
For sure.
But as we're getting older as well, like obviously some of us are getting married, long-term relationships, etc. You realize that how the way that we used to see things when we're single men and doing the things and growing up, that's not always the best way. It's a good thing to have a community of men that you can actually turn to.
For sure.
Without them looking at you as like, oh, you're weak or something like that. And I was like, no, I'm actually happy that my brother actually turned to me because I'd rather him turn to me than anyone else. To be fair. And then generally, and you can actually learn something about that. Like, wow, like my boy actually helped me. Obviously, don't take the mick out of it. Like, don't feel like you have to hand off everything to man. Sometimes handle some things with your, but if it's generally overwhelming, I can understand the position that you're in, bro. I'm here to help. What would you need? You know, kind of thing. And sincerely ask, not the British way of like,
Not they just,
Oh,
But
no, this guy got to do this.
But I'm a big proponent of if there's something doing, just try your best to just go and do it. As opposed to too much conversation around that thing. So for example, if I'm asking one of you that, do you need help with something?
And I know that you will, and you know that I could probably need help.
I know you probably need help with it. Sometimes I prefer let me just do it. Do you get me? Like,
what, take the initiative?
Let me take the initiative.
Do
you know what I mean? Let me take the initiative. That's actually I said, to be fair, that way. But like, take the initiative. Be like, all right, cool. What do I need? Something. What do I need? Keys to go and grab something. Let me pass me the keys. Let me just go. Instead of, are you sure you don't want me to help? What, are you sure? Fam,
I can't lie. Every time
I think-
it's like, fam, if I start asking you, are you sure? Yeah. The truth is, bro, that right now I'm tired, man. He's like, are you sure you don't want me to do this? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's what part of being a friend is, bro.
Yeah.
When you're tired, bro, you have to kind of
sure.
And I feel like it's an unspoken rule, but showing up is so like key.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Just men, women, everyone's lives in it. Like the great feeling that you have when your boy shows up to your wedding or a birthday dinner, that it could be something small that you were celebrating your birthday, but the fact that the man them come up, they showed up, they actually dressed up, they came here for you, bro. I don't think that feeling will ever go away, bro. I've thrown up something, 20 people have come out and 20 people showed up and they're all willing to spend money for man. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? That's a small thing, but it's like, it means a lot to man.
so funny,
you lot came out your house, you dressed up nice, bro. Someone was just flashing a rollie and they're like, you know, yo, like, I'm happy you're here, bro. Real talk, bro. That will never, I don't think that feeling you would ever get over it because it's like a genuine love. Bro,
on my 26th birthday, I'll never forget like the feeling of, so that's the first like party that I've ever done, innit?
Swear.
So like before it, obviously I knew people would come to the party, innit? But like, you know, like I do the thing where I'll just start, alright, cool, you roll. Like people show up, innit?
Yeah.
I remember like the day, when I was just walking down the stairs, innit? You walk down the stairs and everyone was there, bro. I was actually so like excited, and it was like there were certain people that I was seeing. I was kind of like,
excited, it's so funny.
like raw, like you came kind of thing. Obviously, you would roll in it, but like that feeling that you're talking about, where it's like, you know what, you like actually showed up for that. It's a very good feeling still, very very good feeling. So
it is still. Bro,
Do you know what it is though? I feel like as I've got older though, I don't really like the whole. I don't like going in somewhere and people like waited for man. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
I don't
what
like
do you
it.
mean? What do you mean? As in birthday, you walk down the stairs and everyone's just there.
Yeah, that's
no.
mad.
You know, that
I said we got a surprise you. You can't know
mad.
that. You can't tell me, bro. Listen, you got a surprise you.
Man walking in.
We'll start swinging, bro.
Your birthday party.
Why are you not here?
So I remember there was one.
That was jokes.
There was one that I done like one of these like bowling places or whatever, innit? Not All Star, like one of the other Kingpins. You done it there, innit?
Okay.
Bloomsbury.
Yeah, Bloomsbury, and then
Where's that? What, Russell Square?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know about that knows?
Yeah, of course.
They do bare events there, innit?
People have had their birthday.
They've
had a few. Yeah.
But this was back in
This was back in the day. Still. This one, it weren't
popping like that. It weren't popping like that.
I found it first.
You found it first. So then I remember that one, I've come in, but I was expecting, because it's got bare different rooms, and a camping suite, I was expecting people to just be like scattered all over, innit? So it's just a thing, I just walk in inconspicuous and just be like, yo, love for coming, all that kind of stuff, But I go in, and it's like everyone's at the back of the place. Like, because the DJ's there and like the bowling lanes are there. Like, no one's in the cricket place, no one's in this place, like no one's playing pool. Like, two couple man were playing pool or something like that. So I walk in, and then I'm just like, just like trying to keep it quiet. They were like, he said, boom. And then people start clocking and they start walking and they want to start doing 8-8. Bro, listen, I'm not. Bro, one of my brothers walked up to me, I just grabbed him, slapped his hand. I just chatted to him for bare long. While everyone was doing all that stuff. I was like, I'm not doing all of that stuff. All of that walking in. I think the other stuff that man's done, it's either been, so I've done like house parties, for example. I've done like, what's the other one? Oh, like apartments and all that kind of stuff, or all that kind of stuff, innit? With those ones, it's kind of easier to just walk in without the whole hurrah and that. Like, I feel like if I do all of that and they start, and then it's like my sweet 16. I was gonna say sweet 16. But man, so I'm just not like, I don't really like attention at that.
You know what's so funny? Because when I tell people I don't like attention, everyone's like, you're lying. You're like, I actually don't like attention. So,
you know,
it's more so what I was talking about was more so the feeling of seeing everyone, isn't it? Like me coming down the stairs was that moment. Kind of. But even when I've done, so my most recent birthday party, I did it. Was it my 31st or 30th? I think it was my 30th. I think it must have been. It makes sense for it to be my 30th. So I actually wanted to be there before everyone. So I went inside. I actually went in as like just normal when like there wasn't bare people there just to do it. You know, in Soho,
that library,
the all black. The all black one.
It was downstairs.
You didn't even invite me, bro.
Shut up.
That is hilarious.
But that time, it's like, I actually don't want that whole, you're walking in here. So I literally went in before when not everyone was there. They were like, go out. Go out and then come back.
Yeah, but do you know why for that one though? Do you know for birthdays? Like, so for example, one of our boys, Eddie, he done that. So he had a birthday rooftop, beautiful, bro.
Hey, I can't lie. That venue,
beautiful.
Where was the venue?
Oh, don't say it off air.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gone done.
Yeah,
Sky high
still.
still.
Is it? How much?
Stupid.
Like 15 or something.
More than
15?
More than yeah.
Something.
Like, at least,
Yeah,
bro.
dumb.
Bro, it was silly.
But was the venue worth it though?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
no,
it weren't that
15.
then though. It weren't that then. They had just opened, I think, that year or so when we went
It
there.
was fresh.
But anyway, that place, people were coming in like 5s and 10s at a good pace.
Okay.
Do you get me? So the celebrant being there beforehand, it's slowly rolling. Whereas if as a celebrant you're getting that at 7, and no one's getting there till 9, it's too much for you to wait. And then one person
You know,
comes,
with that one
then
as
one
well,
person being there.
the vibe was kind of like, it was a party, innit, but it was like a rooftop, innit?
Mm.
So like, it was also kind of chilled.
Yeah.
You could just like, you
So
could
he
go
could
and socialize
move
with,
round.
with the little groups and batches or whatever.
Yeah.
Over time,
Yeah.
everybody will...
And it wasn't really like a walkway. It's not like when you come in.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can forcefully congregate at the door, but you're forcefully doing it because you're actually spread out inside the actual venue.
Yeah,
innit?
and because of the pattern of it, it's a rooftop, so there's little canapes and that around. Bare people, they go there, start snapping, they're in their corner.
Yeah.
They'll go and get a
Oh, yeah,
drink.
the views was mad
There's-
as well.
there's
still.
so I feel like it allowed everyone to just go and do their own thing. Do you get me? Hey, venue proper, it dictates the something.
To be
or
fair,
something.
it's 15K now, not everyone's gonna use it.
It's the
but you
vibe.
can
It's the
tell
vibe. For me, I would like to come fast and really late, boy. I'll come fast and really late, boy. Me, take my time. I'll shower again. I'm making sure I'm applying the ointment, the oud, on top of the tongue forward. Listen, so I know when I'm stepping fresh. Because I know that's that moment, where I'm like, everyone, I'm the kind of person where I'll share in the bus kind of thing. Like, I want people to enjoy. The DJ has to be on point. Food is set. And I think I'm so grateful for, I think this year kind of showed it to me when my sister obviously gave birth that the community is quite big.
Congrats.
And everyone came out. I'm like, wow, you lot really showed out. One auntie was doing the cooking, the fried rice, the meat. I'm like, whoa, like, yo, you lot really stepped through. So for me, it's just that, and everyone, no one let, well, there was stuff that we were giving out. We had to give it out because we couldn't take it home. And I was like, that's the kind of thing where, you know, like people they were fed and they still left with even more. And I feel like, yo, those kind of things, you can never go back because you always remember those moments.
Well, are you a birthday person though? Celebrate like.
I'm not really a birthday person, you know.
Okay.
Do you know what it is? Because I think maybe it's because I was young. I did have a thing like that where not that there was beef happening, but I actually saw how much people turned up, and at some point I was like, no, if I invited a man from this side, it could have been. I had to tell man from. Don't come, please. I'm not trying to have that on my birthday. Like, we'll enjoy on a separate day. You know what I mean? And these times we're young as well. So like, I think the last time I had a thing, I was like 22. It's like with them ages, you can't tell a man not to. They're not grown, they're not mature enough. They're like, what? I see him in. Like, they don't care no more. So when I knew that, I was just like, you know too many men from different ends. You need to. Let it do the cool thing. Man, them are there. Everyone's vibe. Everyone's getting along. That's the main thing that happens.
I hear it still.
And I feel like that's a very tough situation to be in. There's man that probably know too many people. You can't invite certain people because, and they might feel offended, but they'll have to understand. It's like, I don't want you to be in the same facility where someone that you might actually, it might get cracking. And that's not to say I'm cool with them now, but when I was younger, that used to be the case, innit? Now, obviously, everyone's dispersed. Everyone's kind of moved out of London. We don't talk the same. We're not cool like that no more. You know what I mean? Like, life just happens, innit? So now I'll do it now because I know so that the people that I'm around now, they're more God-fearing, different batch. They're very, what's the word I'm looking for? They're they're loyal to their girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I'm good, but that's the man that we want to be around. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, loyal.
We spoke about that the other day.
That's the man that we want to be around. The man that we want to do business with. Like, they're loyal to their focus is different. So you want to be around that type of energy where it's like, we're celebrating now because we're at that point where we're becoming men, we're achieving success, we're with our partners. That's the kind of people you want to be.
For sure.
100%.
For sure. No, I hear it. Bro, I always say with birthdays, like, I love birthdays, bro. So I celebrate.
Swear, you're a celebrant.
Since like, I think I was 22.
So you like the spotlight on you?
It's not been the spotlight, bro. It's not been the spotlight, because funny enough,
more to do. You know what I'm saying? You get one of them towels, more to do.
It's not so funny. So two things actually. I'm gonna address that. You know, people say you love something here.
Yeah.
So obviously you're not shy, but normally people who tell me I love it tend to be shy people.
Yeah, okay, go.
Like people who are like confident, they're never the ones to say you love it. I've got it. Do you get me? In general, like people who say you love it are always a bit more shy.
Okay.
And I'm like, fam, I don't project. Don't project, bro. Some of us are just we are confident in what we do. Get me?
Come on.
So anyway, that's it. Let me put that out there first.
To be fair, the reason why I say you love it, is because. To be fair, I was trying to figure something. It was really just a dig in it. It was really just a dig in it.
Bro, it's okay to love it, bro.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
okay to love it, bro.
So my thing is with birthdays,
Yeah.
it's like your function,
Mhm.
your people,
Mhm.
your vibe, the music you like with the
Yeah.
people you love.
Mm.
It's like you're curating your own vibe.
Yeah.
Do you get me? With your own people, with the people you've hand selected.
That's where you have the most fun as well.
Yeah.
Bro, it's where you have the most
Because you're
fun,
surrounded
bro.
by love.
Yeah,
You're surrounded by love.
It's not a function that you just turned up to and it's someone else's function.
It's like,
yeah,
bro,
it's yours.
So you know the people in it.
everywhere
you
you're
know everyone
turning,
in it. Yeah,
everywhere
yeah,
you're turning, it's like, yo, it's like,
Yeah,
get me, yo,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I see you in time, you know,
yeah, yeah.
it's just people you love in the room and music. You don't normally you go out, there's probably a hour section throughout the night that it's a throwaway music. But no, it don't happen because
No.
it's music I want to hear on my birthday.
Yeah.
So it's just a place where you just proper enjoy it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So every birthday, bro, I was like, yeah, man, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Do you get me? I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna make sure that I enjoy myself at that place.
Fair,
And also for the people as well, because the
Yeah.
people want
No,
a good
I
time.
get the people together as well.
Getting
Yeah.
people together.
And do you know what it is as well? I think it's important to celebrate life, man. One thing I will
Yeah,
say
yeah.
is like, as much as I might not like the spotlight and all that kind of stuff, I feel like I'm not great. I'm not the best person to listen to because I'm not the best at celebrating milestones and X, Y, Z and all that kind of stuff. But I think birthdays is definitely one of them, bro, because things could have gone any which way. Do you get what I mean? And it's not
facts.
always about being on the road and all that kind of stuff. But even when you're driving, bro, like the fact that you've been driving all these years,
Yeah.
how many miles have you racked up?
Yeah,
No
yeah.
serious accident that's taken your life. Do you
Yeah,
get what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's something to be grateful about.
Yeah,
do you
it's
get it?
true.
So-
What are you guys though? Are you guys more dinner people or like birthday
I
party?
don't
kind of
like
thing?
it. You know
Yeah,
dinners,
I'm
yeah,
not
bro.
dinner,
I don't
man.
like dinners.
Really?
Bro, I don't like
The dinner
dinners,
thing,
you know.
I feel like dinners is.
I
It
don't
is.
like it, you know.
I think the thing I like about dinners is just like linking up, like, and we're just gonna chop it up.
Yeah,
And you see me, I'm a guy that likes to bust jokes. Do you get?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the dinners thing, we're gonna bust joke, we're gonna catch up, boom, boom, boom. We're gonna gist a little bit and all that kind of stuff, innit?
So you're not a
But
party
I'm not-
person.
No, but the truth is, I like dinners for that, but really and truly, I'm not really a party person either.
Okay.
So I'm a hybrid. The middle is like I'll go to like a little lounge or something
Okay, cool.
with
cool.
the man them.
We saying Eden.
I
You
said-
said that is
hilarious. Hey, man said hi out, fam. It's like, but to be fair, it's funny, but yeah, something like that, but like a shisha lounge.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Where they're playing good music, all
Nice
that kind of stuff.
medium and that, yeah,
Do you
yeah,
get what I'm trying to say? Like something like that.
So
man.
I don't mind that for link ups though. So like, you know that we went to the Nigerian restaurant and
Yeah,
it was the
still-
man in
oh,
the
yeah,
room.
yeah,
So
yeah,
for
yeah.
that as a link up, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, cool, we're all here
What
kind
was
of
it?
thing.
Still.
Yeah, still.
Why is he saying the name? What's they want to know that?
So what, bro?
We
The
went to the
restaurant,
expensive
fam.
restaurant, bro. Like,
The restaurant, bro.
Trying to make sure everyone knows that we went to expensive restaurant.
Oh, bro, listen, fam. Fam, the Nigerian, your own people.
Stalk in Mayfair.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like stalking Mayfair, by the way.
I've been there.
Fam, you're trying to- Yeah.
No.
Nah,
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do
Nah,
that.
you know what it is? You know what
Don't
it is?
do that.
So for me, yeah, I like these man. I remember they had the platter.
Yeah.
You lot had bare different things.
Yeah, I had like octopus and that.
I had two things. I think I got like one or
I
like
thought I
two.
got like octopus or
I
something.
think
Yeah,
yeah,
octopus,
same.
yeah.
I got that as well.
I got like
Octopus,
octopus
yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
But you know,
yeah.
one thing about me, bro, that you hear these not make jokes. If I go somewhere, I'm gonna try something that I haven't had before. Do you know what I mean? So I'm never gonna get jollof rice at a Nigerian restaurant ever. I'm just gonna try
I'm
something.
with you on that.
You get me? I'm
I
just
hear
gonna
you.
try something.
I'm Gary getting jollof.
Yeah, I'm not, bro. I'm not getting
Yeah,
jollof.
That's a waste
So
of
what was
money,
different
bro.
on the menu then?
So
Do
the
you remember what you ordered?
I can't, bro. But the octopus was all right.
The octopus was
Also,
calm.
octopus
Yeah,
was
yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Still.
It was octopus with like suya.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
and all
The
that
octopus was
stuff.
quite.
So
The
it
other
was a
thing I
different
got,
taste and it
I
was
just
grilled.
thought that was
Okay.
that was all right. But I think the way they done the private room thing,
Yeah, that
you
was
got your
nice.
own speaker in the
Yeah,
room,
yeah,
like the setup of it
The ambiance was
was,
good.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
calm.
Okay.
So even your question about dinners, for link up with the mandem specifically,
Dinners.
dinners are
Yeah,
calm.
yeah, it's calm. Yeah.
I
But
hear
with-
that.
again, with
Over
the
shisha.
mandem. So, to be fair though,
Depends on the shisha because all of
Depends.
that Eden and Hayat and all that is the music is
it's
bumping
too much.
there.
Do you
and
get me?
that one is more of a
It's
party
less
than a
like
link
party.
up
Yeah, yeah.
with the mandem. Do you
Okay.
get?
So that dinner kind of private room still that was nice, man.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
mandem, you're just in drinks. Like, you
Yeah,
get what I'm trying to say? But comes to me personally,
Mhm.
birthdays, so it has to be parties.
Yeah,
if I had
Has
to
be-
pick,
Okay, cool.
if I had to
Yeah,
pick
that-
dinners and that,
yeah,
it has to
yeah.
be. So
I'm with you on that one still. Like I think when I was younger, I was more on the dinner thing. Like in college days, your dinners, TGI Fridays was used to be the
Yeah,
spot.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Let me say that now. People think you're crazy.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
Back then,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
what's up, bro?
Thistle Town as well, bro.
Bro,
Back then.
Oh,
Thistle
Town used to be the
Thistle
spot.
Town, fam.
Thistle Town used to
Yes,
ring
bro.
off
What?
like
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Thistle
Like,
Town.
Hey,
My
Tinsel,
place.
late, bro, late.
listen, late night.
You're always gonna
Man
see
will
someone.
come drive through just to start and then
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
I go to
Milkshake,
the side,
Nate,
get
that's
one
something.
milkshake.
You get that one
Yeah,
milkshake.
yeah, yeah,
Just go,
yeah.
bro.
It's mad though.
Yeah.
No, but bro, that place was real enjoyment. It added
yeah,
still.
yeah.
But now I hear you in the party because you
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
genuinely want to make it a creative vibe where everyone's actually just happy.
Yeah,
being
yeah,
out
man,
and
good
having
vibe.
fun and stuff. Right?
You see, when I attend the dinner as well, yeah, I'm very much like, I don't get up and walk around and speak to everybody. So I might even be at a dinner with my brethren, like for my brethren's birthday, or whatever, and I might not even get to chat to you like that. Because I'm just kind
you're
of
in that section.
here,
that
kind of thing,
section, yeah,
whatever
yeah,
section
yeah.
I'm in, kind of thing. But if it's like a dinner and then it turns into like a little vibe after,
Okay, cool.
those ones are cool. I've only been to like one of them.
Yeah. I don't
Really?
think there's many spaces that offer
Exactly,
that kind
there's
of
not really best
that
spaces.
kind of
that-
offers
that
that
vibe,
balance
yeah,
and that
yeah,
semblance
yeah.
as
It's
well.
got to be a smaller group, innit? Really, when you think about it. A round
What's
table,
really
smaller
small
group.
though? Like what, 15?
I think even smaller than that. If you want
10.
to be able to sit down on the table, have a dinner, and being able to interact with everyone, it's got to be like
Exactly.
a 10ish.
And that's
Yeah,
why
okay.
that's why going out with the man is I prefer. I like that.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? But the other, it's not. I'm not really, because I'm just very much. I come, I sit, speak to who's here, and in front of me.
Yeah,
And then I
yeah.
might not even chat to
Everyone
yeah,
else
other
really.
people.
Yeah.
That's why I still.
Oh, fierce.
Those
This,
nuts.
this summer's gonna be mad though.
I reckon
Right.
so.
I can't lie that even like the beginning of this like summer with the sun out and all that. That's what I'm
I'm
coming
feeling
wearing
it.
glasses.
Yeah,
and that. Bro, I was enjoying myself.
I was like, yeah, listen, are you guys on the off? Let me know, bro. Let me go home and change quickly. I'll come back in that. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
Hollywood
listen,
still.
I can't lie to you, bro. It's obviously like we know this. The weather in this country is up and down.
Absolutely, yeah,
When
of
it
course.
comes out, I can't lie.
You have to lap it up.
Yeah.
Have to lap it
Lap
up.
it up.
But isn't that such a sad thing though?
It is. Though.
Yeah, like the moment we gotta lab it
have
up.
to
Like,
milk
we should
it.
be- yeah, you have to milk it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So sad, man.
But you know,
because
it is
all
as well.
Okay.
You know, like you go on holidays and that, yeah, to like all these hot countries and that, yeah. You buy bare clothes for all of that kind of stuff, bro. You never get to wear it in ends.
No.
Yeah.
And that's why, do you know one of the things I've
That's so
said to
true,
myself here? You know, one of the things I've said to myself is like, listen, this summer, let the sun come out. I'm wearing this stuff in this country, bro. Like I'm on holiday, bro. I've had enough.
What, you ain't got no holidays booked?
Nah, too fair, I do.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
even still, though.
Yeah,
But even still,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're not like.
Seeing as I wear silk shirt.
In London, bro. What's it in London?
The silk shirt thing
Silk
in
shirt.
abroad, bro, it slaps.
Yeah.
Silk shirt thing.
Because the environment sees that kind of shirt, bro.
Yeah,
In
silk
London,
shirt
no
ends,
way.
yeah.
That should be your birthday or something.
But
To go like links outside, funny still.
I'm
No,
just
but
saying,
listen,
man,
and
if you're
that-
trying to take a picture and then you see a parking fan in your car, you know what I'm saying?
The whole back on.
Nah, I hear it still, but see me, I don't really do the silk shirt thing like that much. I do the linen. Do you get it? So I can run
okay.
linen here. Do you get it? In the sun?
The set type of linen, though.
Hey, nah.
If you rock that linen,
Hey,
here,
nah. Yeah.
you're doing the what's it? The Escobar thing.
I hear it.
I hear it,
man.
But I hear it though. I do hear it though.
Gotta mix it up,
Those
bro.
ones,
Yeah,
those.
you do.
Because
Otherwise, fam.
even shades, I got shades similar to them, but I've never thought to wear them in
In
London.
London, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like
They're holiday shades.
they
Yeah, they
feel
are,
like,
they
Yeah, they feel
they
like
feel like
holiday
they're
shades.
so nice
Yeah.
for like just ends.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get
It's
me?
too good
Okay,
for
you
ends.
see- You see me
Yeah,
now
yeah,
with
yeah,
shades.
Too good for ends.
Me with shades now, fam. I'm wearing bare them.
Swear.
Wherever. And there was a point whereby like I would think me wearing shades was doing too much. Now, fam, I don't care. I'm doing
Yeah,
that
yeah,
still.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
shades? I thought I got like 7 or something. I'm a shades guy now still.
Yeah. I need to up my shades count.
What's that? Not only started doing the shading last year.
Swear down.
Yeah.
Fam, you don't
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't need
I'm
ever
post-
see
mine's
me
post
shade
lockdown.
like that.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, post
What's
lockdown, I started wearing shades.
Yeah.
Post lockdown, I started
I
wearing
was
shades.
doing it.
Listen, 'cause I don't think you understand the freedom that we like. Being at home 3 months was not. It was calm, but sometimes it would do your head in,
Oh,
bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It would
yeah,
do your head in.
still.
So the man, remember, I think we was like January, February, March. We was all indoors. Then we had a little bit of freedom in April. That little freedom that we had, the amount of people I saw outside was crazy, bro. It was
That
so
period was peak,
crazy, bro.
You
Shoreditch
have
was
peak.
packed. Like,
Yeah,
I was like,
It's like
raw.
everyone,
You were
it was like everyone just came out of bin.
Yeah.
That was like everyone was fresh over. Yeah, man. You know, baby had no trim.
Yeah.
How we saying that?
Listen, I was like, let me get my shades game up.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I need to get some shades still. Need to get some shades.
Clothes, I ain't got summer clothes though. And I feel like I say that every year.
I don't even.
I say that
Yeah,
every year.
I'm with
I
you
ain't
on
got
that one,
summer
bro.
clothes.
I'm more of a winter person.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like,
over with
like winter,
jackets and stuff
spring.
like that.
Those are the clothes I'll have for.
Yeah,
Summer,
yeah.
I'm not really.
Bro, I ain't
Do you know what
got
it is? I think
yeah.
most fashion people feel like they like winter and autumn better because of the fact that you can put on more and
Yeah,
mix
yeah,
and match.
style,
Yeah,
style.
you get?
Yeah.
So it's I think in general everyone's got more winter clothes, especially in this country.
Yeah.
Do you get? That's what we. Hey, let me. Life is good in it. Life is good.
If you want to wear that linen, wear that linen,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
I hear you. Yeah, wear that suit, bro. I hear you.
I do hear it though. I do hear it still. But why do you say summer? Do you think this year?
I just think, bro. Listen, I think summer's
Should
kicked
be.
in. Like the good
You think
weather,
so?
like the sun.
Why though?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I just had that feeling, bro.
You got that
feeling, bro.
It's in the
Like,
atmosphere.
yeah, like, it's like that. It's
They
gonna
might, they might be
about
going
to
out
hot.
barefooted to
'Cause
their
this might
garden
be
and
the
like
last year we see
sinking
a
their
lot
foot in the
of people
ground.
living in London, boy. Because the way everyone's moving right now, they want to dip and go to Dubai and go to different countries. So this might be the last year you actually see someone and be like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Last time you're seeing me, bro. After this, I'm cutting. You know what I'm saying? This is
I
my
hear it
last
still.
London summer kind of thing. You know what
hear
I'm
it
saying?
still.
So,
I do hear it still.
but then obviously you got wireless as well. So
But then
People-
the thing is, yeah,
people are getting excited about that Drake
You
doing that
you know the wireless
weekend and that.
Yeah? I ain't been to wireless in the set.
We used to load wireless.
We used to, bro,
We used to
every-
load wireless, man.
Year after year.
It used to be the
after-
spot, bro.
Wireless
It used
is
to be the
cold.
spot.
I felt like there was that age transition.
Mm.
So I remember the last year I went, and how I knew that it was my last year I went with my little cousin.
Okay, yeah.
So-
yeah.
You get
Yeah,
so
yeah,
let's say 4 years before that year, when I went wireless, it was like I'll see not only people from my end, but everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
or someone's bridge. Oh,
Yeah.
what you saying? You would,
Yeah.
So much so that you could ask me next year, oh, how do you know them? Oh, wireless.
Yeah.
That's how it was. The last year I went with my little cousin,
Mm.
and that's what he was doing.
Mhm.
His thing was like, oh, like, what you saying? I was like, how do you know them? Oh, from uni. Okay, cool. Yo, what you saying? How do you know them? Ah, just through boom. And me, I think I saw a few people there.
Yeah.
But that year, I said, you know what? All right, man.
You know what they
It's
say?
alright,
You know what they
it's
say? You
alright.
got to leave football before it leaves you.
Yeah, bro. Listen,
That's what you guys
Leave the
leave.
football.
Absolutely.
That's how I felt. But
I think it's sections as well, though. Because that if you're in like in the section, like the VIP section or whatever, where it's like it's
You will see a lot more people your age.
Be a lot more
True.
A lot more
of
mature
us
people.
lot there.
I know that's where man is, so you
age-wise.
don't have the same experience.
Yeah. You definitely see a lot more people your age, for sure. 100%, bro. Might be in that VIP spot for sure. I'm working.
I'm working. Jump up.
Aye, with me, I don't go wireless store. I can't even lie to you.
Nah, Hendo, you
But-
got to reach this year, man.
Nah, I don't know,
Fam,
man.
for vibes coming, it's going to be a different. You're definitely going to see. Firstly, you're going to see a lot of the 28 pluses,
Yeah.
30 pluses. Bro, this is vibes like real festival concert in London. Everyone's showing up to that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even just for that Sunday, if that's the Sunday that you're coming out and you're last time you're attending wireless, you know you're doing it because of Drake and vibes.
Yeah, because of vibes.
Literally, it's gonna be a movie.
To be fair, that is
Yeah.
a massive headline.
Yeah, it is
bro.
still.
It's gonna
It
be a
is.
movie.
And it doesn't feel. It feels. I don't know. Don't feel wirelessy. Like it feels like bigger. I can't explain it. Like you know, wireless normally they'll have like what's it? Big Sean? No, not Big Sean, but who they have like.
No,
boy, innit?
No, Big Sean,
Yeah,
but you know they normally have like J. Cole can do a day somewhere,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
I don't know someone else who.
Drake and the mandem.
Yeah.
That's
another conversation.
That was a
That's
rough
another
one.
conversation.
I get
still.
that.
I thought they just. I thought they just
Me
did that to,
personally,
like,
yeah, and until someone can educate me, I just didn't think it was that bad.
Neither did I.
I just didn't think.
I thought it was just
that
like
bad,
they're just
bro.
gonna
pros
start
and
releasing the
there's
No,
pros
but
and
names.
cons for
it depends.
everything.
It depends on who the mandem is. though.
Exactly.
Do you get?
And
Because there's certain
ultimately,
mandem you can't
Central
just
C's,
call them the mandem.
No, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what it is though. And look, what do I know in it, bro? I'm not in the
Yeah.
industry in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the way I saw it is that look, they're surprise guests. You're not trying to.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not,
what I thought.
you
as
get
well.
me? It's a surprise thing. You're not trying to say names.
And you're doing the whole Drake UK
and,
thing.
and Drake is doing. And obviously, when we say
You're not-
mandem, it's not a slur.
It's
Yeah,
not,
you know what I'm trying to
yeah,
say?
and you're
It's
not you're not wrong. But I also understand why people might kind of feel a kind of way because obviously, I guess the last time Drake was here, I would say a lot of the music space now, UK has really stood on its own ground. Like they've definitely developed in terms of artists now.
Yeah.
I'm not to say we're neck and neck in terms of artistry, but maybe some people might think we are in terms of because of the likes of Central C, because of the likes of Little Sims and people really pushing it forward now as well. Dave being a megastar, Stormzy being a megastar. So we've got our name, we've got our own kind of people where we're like, we're big too. Like, who you calling a man? Like, we've got big names too, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I understand their perspective, but let's be honest, if you really call a spade, none of these guys are bigger than Drake. That's just a fact.
And I was going to ask as well, do you
That's
think
just the fact.
the mandem have a problem with it? Or is it everybody
No, I
else
think
that-
everyone else.
Exactly. So if the mandem
I
have
think
a problem
everyone
with it,
else
I hear
had a
it.
problem with it.
See them ones there. That's when you just gotta.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Because
right.
even if-
Walking it.
It's wrong.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. We're not discrediting that you lot ain't sick. You are sick. But none of you are bigger than Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's just call a spade a spade. You know,
It's Drake.
I'm saying it's
When I-
Drake. Like,
It's
yeah,
Drake.
yeah, it's Drake.
When I saw it, I was just like, okay. Like, I didn't think twice, but when I saw the commentary, I was like, it made me think like, hold on, is there something to be offended
But
about
I feel
here?
like even if he put someone's name,
Yeah.
they're gonna say something about that person or something. They're gonna say something basically,
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's just kind of whatever, innit? And my thing when I saw it, I was like, okay, they're just gonna release who it is later on. For there
That's
to
how
be more of a
that's
vibe.
how I read it as well when I
That's-
first saw it.
that's
as
Do
well.
you know what it
what I
is?
saw
I
still.
definitely think, yeah, like, aside from everything you said, yeah, in the UK though, there is a vibe where it's like,
Main
nah,
character.
like,
syndrome.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there is like,
Saying,
nah,
don't
like,
little boy, like what?
yeah, like chat to man properly. Kind
Like,
of,
I'm not
do you
big,
get-
yeah.
and it's kind of like, you know, like remember the whole backup dances thing?
Mm.
Do you get what I'm saying? All of that time there was so flipping funny.
It was funny.
It created
Is it-
the most entertainment though. I'm
Bro,
not gonna lie to you,
literally,
it created
it's like the
most
man of your
entertainment.
viz backup dancing.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what it is? Yeah, it's like and then the Dylan White thing where he's like, you see Stormzy, yeah? Yo, listen. That time was hilarious, but that whole thing is just like, man's not just in the background like promoting the next man and all that kind of stuff. Man is the maddest thing is it might look exactly the same, but if it's spoken about differently, it's like, it's kind of like paying homage or these are the heavy hitters.
Absolutely.
Or this, that, and the other. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But where it's like whoever started it first coined it in a way where it's like Drake and the mandem, like, why ain't they saying you lot's names?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? And all that kind of stuff. And that's what was taken and ran with. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
People just wanted to have something to be mad about, in my opinion. But it's exactly what you man said. Like, I didn't see it as anything other than that. I think he was just holding out on the names as a surprise thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
As a surprise thing, like, okay, cool, we got this, we got that. I feel like it was different if any of the artists that he was mentioning or who already been confirmed, if they had an issue. If they had come out publicly and be like, who you referring to? But I didn't see none of that on X. I didn't see none of that on TikTok. So what's everyone really piping up about?
Who did it end up being in the end?
I don't think
they released
I think BBK is gonna be there.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't heard any confirmation, but that didn't make sense to me because he has a long ties
Oh, wait,
affiliation.
hold on.
with
Yeah,
BBK
true.
anyway.
So wait, the Drake and the mandem things for this year.
He's doing 3 dates, bro.
All of it, 3 days.
You know what's so mad? I thought this all happened like last year or something.
No, bro, it's for this
When
year.
did they release
No, but I think it did. The discussion was last year.
No, they released the
released
names
it last
and
year.
the tickets.
Swear down, they released that.
Yeah,
last
that far in
year.
advance.
Yeah, that's true.
Weren't they
Not
doing
normally
like
that far.
weren't they doing like a something like that, but abroad or something like that? Like a wireless abroad or something?
No,
No.
I think
I don't know.
the only place Riley has ever gone to, and I feel like they realized that was a mistake and they came back, was when they tried to do it at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And then there was
okay.
that year where they had it
Yeah.
at Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
feel like they probably didn't get the reception as they thought they would, even though they had the stars there. So they then just brought it back to Finsbury Park because it's home ground.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of loves Finsbury Park. Everyone just thought it was a better state.
Yeah.
But then kudos to Wireless for even trying something new. Like, if something's going well for you, you want to try something new just to see where I go on and just obviously bring it to South as well.
Yeah.
Why not give it a try?
Yeah,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? So like if you make the mistake and then cool, you come back to Finsbury Park because that's what kind of does you
Yeah,
good.
it makes sense.
But man, them definitely come through. Like I feel like you don't have to do the whole weekend. Obviously, you have to do, but that Sunday one's gonna be epic. It's definitely gonna be one.
You got
for
a
us.
pattern.
I wish. All my siblings are asking me now, but I wish, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? You word. I'm just there to work, guys. I'm just gonna work. I want to grab my content. You know what I'm saying? I want to work. But ultimately, I just want to see what the vibe is like because I feel like, Vibes coming out. I've never seen Vibes live. You know what I'm saying? Ever.
Yeah.
And that would be one of those ones where we're like, come on.
Gareth.
That's a lot of people's childhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's ticked
I
off
even
and
feel like artists will come there and be in a crowd.
Yeah,
Not even there to perform like you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Remember when Steve-O did Touch a Button and do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? That's an iconic beat, but we know where he got that from.
No,
You know,
yeah.
How many people sample off of dance hall kind of, especially vibe songs? Do you know what I'm saying? So come on, it's touching a lot.
So what, has Vibes, so is Drake all 3 days? So
Drake is all 3 dates.
is Vibes main stage or is it?
Yeah, he's main stage.
Yeah,
main
I believe
stage,
he
yeah?
would be
Yeah,
main
yeah.
stage, to be fair.
But Drake is the headline, so he will be the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can't remember who else is. I know obviously Drake and Vibes, but I can't remember who else is.
I don't really I didn't really check it before I came here, to be fair, but I feel like it should be a good start. Just think about all the artists that you probably had like a look, let's say over the past year or so, has had really made a name for themselves and are really lit. That might just come out just to even come out if
Just
they're
to come
around.
out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like even with Drake did stuff with Heady One, I won't be surprised if Heady comes out. I won't be surprised if Central comes out or Skepta and stuff. Just the normal affiliations that Drake has over here in the UK, innit? And anyone else that he feels like probably might be killing it right now that's in the new school as well. Do you know what I mean? So whoever that might seem to be for him. But it's all 3 dates. So I think ultimately he's definitely got a plan to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And I feel like he wants to check the temperature here as well, to be fair. If I'm being honest with that whole, Kendrick Lamar and everything. He definitely wants to check the temperature. Yeah, what?
Yeah,
you know him, I'm checking the temperature,
You know what it is though?
I hear it.
Yeah, I want to check the temperature.
You know with the whole Kendrick thing, yeah? Obviously, like, he didn't pattern, innit?
Yeah.
But it's actually Drake still.
Yeah.
It's Drake still. It's Drake, bro.
That's
Did Drake
always
that what?
It's Drake. What do you mean?
That what though?
I mean, like, it's him, innit? So, like,
No, but-
throughout, so even though
He took
obviously
a
he
big-
lost
he took a
the
big
battle,
hit.
whatever,
he lost the battle.
it doesn't matter.
Oh,
In
you're
terms of
saying
like- in
he won
terms
the
of
war
like-
kind of thing.
Not even that he won the war or anything like that, but he's still Drake, innit?
Yeah,
So even
yeah.
for example, like, man, like, I don't necessarily listen to bare new Drake like that.
Yeah.
So Drake has like so many, like, so from college, college
Mhm.
is where I was listening to Drake from. And we've grown up listening to Drake throughout.
Yeah.
One instance like this, yeah, obviously it's funny and it's funny, innit?
Yeah.
But
History, culture.
It's Drake, innit?
Yeah.
So I don't think that he's gonna come here and be like, and expect any sort of like, okay, nah, people aren't really gonna feel me like that or da-da-da-da.
He should.
So,
Actually,
but-
I have a sense though.
I actually
you know,
because the artist,
I actually feel
the artist that he was up against wasn't, no disrespect to Pusha T, I love you,
Yeah.
but you're not in the same realm in terms of Kendrick Lamar, innit? So it's different. You're talking to a different caliber. Yes, you won your beef and stuff, but Kendrick is on par with Drake really, in terms of selling numbers and stuff like that. So for me, everyone, what that did, like,
Bro,
to be able to
done a
perform that
madness.
Super Bowl, to be
Because it's not, it was very
Bro,
funny.
well, and what was it? The Grammys.
Yeah.
I think you're
Everyone said it,
underestimating the dead.
bro,
I'm
that's
not-
like-
I think it was very funny, innit? Like, it was very funny. And I think the
It
Drake
definitely
thing as
left
well,
the
yeah.
dead.
The Drake thing as
Yeah.
well
It
is
left the dead.
because, like, bare people actually don't like Drake. So even, so you know, like, the Kendrick is like, if you listen to Kendrick Lamar and you're a Kendrick Lamar fan, I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan. I like Kendrick, innit?
I like Kendrick.
But you're a particular type of person in terms of what you like.
yeah.
So like, and you
Like
know, like
conscious
real
rapper,
hip hop and that sort of stuff.
different.
yeah.
And Drake represents
Like
like
the Sheiky.
The
not
time,
not that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing, innit? So everybody so you have like the bare purist Kendrick fan
Mhm.
who is like that,
Mhm.
and you literally do not like anything to do with
Drake.
or whatever.
Yeah,
innit? And then you have the kind of like people that are kind of neither like on either
between.
side or whatever. They're kind of
Yeah.
in between, innit?
Yeah, that's me.
But they don't really. Drake is kind of annoying, or he's like corny and stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough.
So or people that have that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So when it was time to, obviously Kendrick represents real hip hop.
Yeah.
Now it's
Right.
like, real hip hop versus,
Yeah.
do you get me, like colonizer versus, do you get all of that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
stuff? So the buzz and the hype around it is a lot of because we don't actually like you. And now this is the person to represent us to take you.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's a massive
what's happened, didn't
It
it?
is a massive. It's a massive.
But it's caused a massive.
But
dent.
not so much so that it's like
People aren't checking for
you
Drake.
don't check for you.
Yeah.
No, people aren't checking for Drake that much though because of this.
Not really so.
So why
You
do
don't
you
think
feel?
so?
Why do you feel like he hasn't released anything?
So,
Yeah,
but
he's dropped
quick,
the album
quick,
point of
quick
still,
before that, you know
But they
the
even
wireless thing, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of, okay, I found the flyer.
Go on.
So on the Friday, it says Drake and Party Next Door, special guest Summer Walker, yeah?
Yeah.
That's an
That's
R&B.
gonna be a
Then
vibe as well.
Sunday, it says Drake, special guest Burna Boy and Vibes Cartel.
Oh, so yeah, Burner and Vibes.
Saturday, just says Drake and the
I
Man.
forgot it was Burner and Vibes.
Yeah.
So it
Because
seems like Friday's gonna be
That's
R&B.
context.
Yeah. Friday's gonna be R&B fest.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Saturday's gonna be UK lot.
Yeah.
UK, London. If you say Mandem, that's what I'm getting from
Yeah,
you, basically.
yeah,
But then the
Mandem.
thing,
And we're very similar to Toronto, basically.
Mm.
And Sunday's gonna be Bring Out the Stars.
but then,
Burna Boy vibes.
Yeah.
That's
do you know
gonna
what it
be
is?
vibe.
But it's the fact that he's called out the Party Next Door and Summer Walker
And
on
so-
the
on the
Friday.
other one, and they
yeah,
call
that's
that
called
Burna Boy vibes
Vibes.
on the Sunday, and
So
then
it's
Drake
kinda
say
like-
no one
Do you get?
on the
Oh,
Saturday.
is
Because
that-
for example,
okay,
if
cool,
it was
cool.
like a gigs thing, that it's like no, don't call him the man. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like put his name there, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like,
Again, so I don't, and I
and obviously
don't,
that's not
I
me
don't
saying
think
that there's
that's
a
a
problem.
reason to take offense because I
Yeah.
still get what I feel like I get what
Do you
they're
understand what
trying
he's
to
saying
do.
by that? I think
Of
Drake
course.
is saying that I'm Mandem as well. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
my
No,
guys.
by the
They're
way,
my guys.
And it's a play into
Yeah.
it.
And,
Yeah,
and I,
yeah,
and I
they're
feel
my
like
guys.
in another
It's a
life,
culture though, isn't it?
in another life, everyone will be like, that's sick.
Yeah.
Like, do you get me? If this was like 10 years ago and it was like Drake and the people would be like, nah, sick. Like, he's
yeah.
incorporating the UK, that something into it. He's from Toronto, whatever. But because of where we are now,
Yeah,
And
right
the
now,
man them headline wireless by
do
themselves.
you get me?
Yeah.
But now, because
Do
of
you
where
know
we are now, I think
Imagine
people
that
are just gonna.
conversation. Imagine that conversation. You know when it's like, why do Afs get very excited when they see like a Japanese person speaking Yoruba? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Good analogy.
And then now,
Yeah.
we're past that. We're like,
we're over
fam,
that.
what, man? It's
You can't
speak it
gas
like.
us on that no
You
more.
get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That's another thing as well.
No, I hear you.
But the
Great analogies.
The videos is around on WhatsApp where
They love it still.
my
They
mom
love
calling
it.
from upstairs. Bro.
Yeah,
Put their
look.
glasses. I'm like, bro,
It's a song, bro. It's obviously they can learn the song. They can learn the song, innit?
this is side note.
Like, baby, fada.
Hilarious. You know, there's one the other day, where it's like, I think it's like a girl's birthday, and they're dancing, and they're doing a group coordination thing.
Bro, that
I think I said that.
I ain't seen the video.
I ain't find it,
I'll show you still.
It's funny, bro.
No, it's funny. And they were actually kind of like,
They'll go and have it.
No,
they're
going
going
ham.
ham. Dancing like properly.
And they're serious.
Where's it at a wedding or something?
No, it's like
a birthday or something. Yeah, or something.
But they,
That was.
but you know what's so funny though? After people laugh, people like, some girls like, listen, I kind of want to have fun with my friends like this. Like, just go out here and just like, just trying to have fun in it.
Yeah.
Because them lot, they certainly had fun.
Of course.
Whatever they were doing, they were enjoying
We
it.
definitely need to strip back the corny thing a bit. And just have fun.
Yeah, too many things are labeled as corny now. Do you know what I mean? It's true.
And it's not allowing you to be yourself.
You're not allowed,
It's not allowing you to be
yeah.
yourself. Over fear of what people might think
think-
about you.
Even back to like the birthday party thing, yeah. So so I'm someone that whenever I go wherever I'm going there, I have my own vibe anyway. So I'm not, I don't care if you're doing the cool stuff or whatever, innit? But you know, like our birthday parties is another place whereby it's like, no, everyone's actually having fun.
Yeah.
So you're not here and doing any sort of like, you're sitting on the wall and you're doing all this
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Because everyone here
It's
is
not
your
cool.
people, innit? Like, it's just have fun.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
But that's a
Everybody
real
has
UK
that, like-
thing though, isn't it? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Like, you
man.
can't-
Yeah.
like, even
It's
like when
annoying
you
now.
go to certain, even industry kind of events sometimes, yeah, like it's a damn shame, but you see man that are just like trying to hold their space. They're not trying to smile too much.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because it's just not the way that it's been here. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But obviously, I do feel like there's been a shift though, and I do feel like things are changing ever so slightly and all that kind of stuff. But that's naturally what we're lacking. That's why they say that we're not very like romantic and all that kind of stuff. Because the same thing, like we're not gonna really like push like our comfort zones out and start calling someone like, oh yeah, that's amazing and all that kind of stuff. Like we're not gonna use that terminology. We're like, man, that's calm still. Like,
I feel like it's
You
holding
did your
people
thing.
back, to be fair, man.
Yeah,
I
yourself,
hear it still.
yeah.
I
If
hear
you're
it.
something sick, go up to the person, say,
yourself.
you're
Yeah,
sick,
sick.
bro.
Yourself.
If you're in a party and a function is lit and you go up to the person, say,
Yeah.
Yo,
100%.
Facts.
give people their flowers while they're here, man. I don't care if you're the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
celebrity or someone that's coming up from, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
bro.
The courage that it takes to want to do something off your own volition
Yeah.
and then not having the support in the early beginning, but still do it anyway because
Yeah.
you're convinced that this is going to work out for you.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. bro.
Yeah,
bro,
100%.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, to be fair, and that's something that I definitely had a conversation myself about that. Yeah, therefore, if you see someone you're out there doing, just say, yo,
Hell them up.
Guaranteed.
boom,
man.
do you get me?
Hell them up.
Like, aye, that's sick, you know, I saw you. Especially the thing, don't do the thing where you see, man, and you're looking with the side of your eye, like, bare times. Oh, just gotta say what I gone.
Yeah.
That's it,
Yeah.
aye. Do you get me? Because most time you're not gonna, basically, you can't do it on the sly. So just actually just go and say,
Yeah.
well done. So when
Yeah.
people come up to us to say, oh, podcast is sick, I'm actually like I remember your name. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, like, we actually proper appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Do
you.
you know what I mean? It's encouraging.
Yeah,
For sure
facts.
encouraging.
It's proper encouraging. You're like, oh, right. So people are tuning in, especially something like this where you make content and you put it out.
Mhm.
It's not something
Not
that
guaranteed.
you're.
Yeah.
We're not. Do you get me? You're not interacting with people who interact with your material like that.
Mhm.
So when people come up to you, it's proper
Nah,
appreciated, man.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it
There's
makes
also another side to that as well. When you do receive that, be humble.
of
Humility,
course.
like, don't be expecting it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
see that
yeah.
a lot.
100%.
A lot where it's just like, yeah, cool. Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah.
You're because you got a following or
Mm.
da-da-da-da-da. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah, I'm saying.
Because I
It's
think
true.
obviously like visibility wise, obviously you might see we do see bare different people's stuff in it.
Yeah.
And like you might not necessarily mess with this particular person's thing like that, but
Mhm.
you're aware of it and you see it, innit?
Yeah.
So when you're in a space whereby, let's say that person is there, like I know that you do whatever you do, but I don't particularly follow
Yeah.
what you do like that, innit?
Yeah.
But then sometimes you might find that the person is doing the thing whereby it's like, okay, I'm this person. Like, why isn't everyone like kind of like, you get that sort of aura
And that's
from
what
them,
you
it's
mess.
like,
Yeah, that's where you mess up. You should
Yeah,
never do
it's
that.
just
That's
like,
the
bro.
position that you're in.
Terrible.
But it's easier said than done, though. I feel like if you, let's say you're there now, and everything's just been handed to you, people are, gloating you, like riding your chain, all of that stuff. To kind of come back down, I feel like that's where God comes into play. I feel like that's a very, very important part because you're walking that fine line of where now you're exposed to a lot of things that you're not necessarily used to. Because rightly so, you've put in the work. You've actually garnered a following. And that's not easy. Do you know what I mean? You've garnered a following, you've garnered a fan base, you've garnered a family and a culture and a community. You've actually built that, and kudos to you. But if it changes you to become a person that's not really of the community or really engaged with your people, then is it really worth it?
Yeah.
Okay, real. So now I see you for who you really are now. Now that we've put you in this position where we've engaged with your content and paying for stuff like that, so this is who you really are.
Humility is peak though. Humility is something that you have to deliberately strive for.
Absolutely.
You get me? Humility is not,
you have to work for it.
It's not nothing that, I'm just a humble.
No.
If anyone says I'm just a humble person, trust me, it's either, what's that thing where you haven't got anywhere that you really, really need it. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, if you get somewhere that you really, really need it, you'll know, nah, I'm not naturally. You have to deliberately be like, you know what? Like, God, help me to see myself the way you see me. Like, help me to see myself the way you want me to see myself and to interact with people the way you want me to interact with them. Not the way they see me and now act accordingly the way you see me and how you want me to act accordingly. Do you get me? Because it's a hard thing.
You need checks and balances because you got to check yourself a lot of the time. Because these things, like, they creep up on you. It's not like, and the thing is, when we talk about pride and that, sometimes we feel like it's going to be an obvious situation where it's like, oh, I don't know, something happens, you're like, oh, they can't chat to me like that because of pride. Sometimes it's something small, like,
smaller.
You just, the fact that they've held you up and said X, Y, Z, boom, 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 and you've accepted that, like, you've accepted that praise and you believe it's all you and X, Y, Z, and boom, 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 you're there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? With the pride, you're already there. And it might not have manifested into anything in that specific moment, but then later on, when it's like you're talking about your story and all that kind of stuff, all of a sudden, less of it becomes about God and His glory and what He's done, and it's more about, oh yeah, I done this and man done that and and all that kind of stuff. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's one of those things you got to have checks and balances in place, and you got to continuously check yourself.
People are proper on this like bun being humble thing now as well.
I was even going to ask you, what's your thoughts on ego? Do you feel like ego is a good thing or a bad thing? Because I feel like you have to have a certain sense of ego to achieve and try to
explain it in terms of ego. Like,
so like, ego could be like in a sense of where you're doing something and you've convinced yourself, or is that delusional? Or maybe I'm confusing the two. But you convince yourself that you can be able to do this thing. And the results are showing now that you're at that person where you think you are. Right? But it was needed at the beginning of your journey to get to that point. And now when you're at that point now, how it must be difficult to kind of let that ego go. Because it's kind of build you, it's kind of got you through it.
My thing with all of that sort of stuff is that it's not just like, it's not you kind of thing. Obviously, like you're doing it, but it's like it's been given to you sort of thing. It's God that is allowing you to do these things. Like even like a talent sort of thing. It's not your talent. It's been given to you. It's a gift. Of course, like you've worked on it. You might be good at it, and well done for being good at it. I remember that thing can just go like this.
Facts.
You can wake up. You could be a singer. You can wake up tomorrow and you can't sing anymore. Like there's something that's going on with you can't sing no more. So it's not all entirely you. And like obviously, like within, you know, like the whole like self-made, bro, you're a product of the people who you're around. Like you didn't do it entirely yourself. You can't do it entirely yourself. That doesn't exist like that. So when it comes to like you can be, of course, be confident, innit? Like, do you get what I mean? If you're good at something, cool. Yeah, I'm confident. I'm good at this thing. This is my thing.
That's what I was going to ask.
There's a difference between, this is me. Bro, you can wake up tomorrow, God forbid, and you cannot wake up tomorrow.
So maybe it's not ego. Maybe it's confidence.
And you know what it is? I do kind of like get what you're saying in that. I feel like being black as well, in a world where you're black and you're talented, sometimes people are going to try and talk down
what you can do.
Downplay what you're
doing.
I saw that the other day.
Do you get me?
There was so obviously Sinners, isn't it, that come out on the news. She was like around Google, like, I think they were talking about Black Panther, innit? And he was like, that was like the biggest black something, innit? And he was like, no, actually, it was just the biggest film in general. But you've made why did you highlight the fact that it was black? So when you did that, you kind of watered it a bit. Bro, it's actually here. You're trying to make it just kind of here, trying to mute sort of the achievements, innit? So it's just,
and you get what I'm trying to say. So I get that sometimes you're gonna have to sit. So him saying that, to the naked ear might sound a bit like, raw.
Why are you doing that?
Like, why are you doing that?
Too much.
But
someone might think that that's even ego.
Do you get
Someone
me?
might look at that and think,
but really, you got to approach it with humility, confidence, and factual. Do you get me?
And also correct people. You can correct people in a confident way.
And you can correct people humbly. You're just wrong.
It's a movie. It's not just a black.
It's not true. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like I'll probably use those instead of ego. Do you know what I mean? That you are confident, humbly confident. Do you get me? But factual and true. Do you get me? Like to what
Numbers
you're saying.
don't lie, bro.
Fam, they don't lie. If you're doing what you're doing, you're doing what you're doing. And if someone says otherwise, then you correct them.
I do think things have changed as well, though. So I feel like now conversations that you have with brands and stuff like that is more about numbers, where less of that would happen. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Fair enough on that interview and that newsreader has obviously done it in that way. But I think a lot of the time now it's easier to actually come from a place of, without having to use your ego, just confidence in terms of, listen, this is the pool that I have. This is how many impressions I have. This is what we do
Engagement.
on a weekly and daily, and this is that and the other. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's not, you can say that without having the whole, yo, I do this, I do that. But you still got to sell whatever it is, your brand, and position it in a way that it's lucrative for yourself, and then do you know what I mean, that you get opportunities and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's where ego used to come into it a lot of the time in terms of selling yourself and all that kind of stuff, in terms of like, right, like I can do this, I can do that, and X, Y, Z, and the reason why I'm the best at it, or the reason why you should go with me is because, do you get what I'm trying to say? But I feel like now, because everything is becoming more stats, data, and all that kind of stuff based, data-driven decisions, it's kind of like you don't really have to do as much talking. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah,
I feel like that's where you lose yourself as well, though. I think ultimately, if you become very, very stat driven, a lot of your content can then be watered down. Because the reason why you started it
100%.
is no longer there. You're now looking, and I feel like I don't even blame the content creator sometimes in those kind of instances, because when you're kind of coming with these brands, and let's just say a first brand kind of approach you and they're offering like 15K to do this, but then another brand is trying to offer a lower amount, and you might feel like, what? And sometimes they may even try to be like, oh, could you do it this way? Or could you do it this way? I'm like, but that's not how I make my content. That's not how I make my content. The reason why you came here is because you like the way I did it. Why would you now want to change it just to fit your aesthetic? It's either you come to me because you know that I can do this and do this well, and I have a scenario or synopsis of how I want to shoot this, or we work in it, collaborate, or we don't. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like sometimes when you stop kind of doing it for the love of it and start chasing the checks, that's where the shift
happens. And I think also sometimes stats and numbers, it doesn't show real impact all the time. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
It doesn't,
Because there's people,
you hit the nail on the head.
There's people who are really, especially, and if you're not within that culture, you don't know.
You don't engage with that culture. You're not in there. You're not out here like that. You're not at these events, and you're not.
There's someone who they ain't got the most likes, but they are really influencing and impacting the culture that they're around.
They may do a post. They probably have 2K thing, but they engage. People are community, because the community people mess with them.
Bro, people will switch up something. People go and buy something. People start using a certain lingo, because saying a certain type of joke, do different things. They are impacting the culture, and numbers, boom, doesn't always represent what them guys are doing. You know what I'm trying to say?
100.
So it's important, like, just to keep up with, listen, you know your cultural currency. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Do you get me? Be confident in that. Do you know what I mean? And just, fam, face forward, pray to God.
Face your front.
And also for someone who wants to like get into that sort of thing, like how do you measure your like success per se, or like how do you quantify whether you're doing well or not, innit? And making sure that it's not just about the numbers, and it's actually trying to actually make impact, innit? But obviously, it depends on what it is that they're actually doing, innit? So for example, like if somebody's doing like fashion sort of content, what does impact look like with that? And it's not necessarily just, okay, this has X amount of views or whatever. So for example, like Melissa's Wardrobe is a very good example of somebody who actually has very peak impact in terms of like influence, innit? So what does that look like for you with whatever like you're trying to do in it in terms of your content, in it? So for me, so I started making videos like a year ago.
Okay,
it was a year, like the other day. So it was actually
congrats, man.
Come on,
I appreciate it. Happy 1 year.
Appreciate it. So my whole thing is like, I want you to actually go and learn your language. So for me, the impact is not necessarily the numbers, and thank God that sometimes the numbers are like, oh, raw. Okay, that's very good, isn't it? But you've actually gone and signed up for this thing, and you've actually done lessons. So when I meet people and they're like, oh no, you know what, I signed up, you know, that is like, okay, no, you actually,
There's
and
more
maybe
people around you speaking Yoruba,
exactly,
or the native language, or
exactly. So like, okay, I might have done a video and it's got like 400 views or whatever, and 400 people is a lot of people. You know, there's a picture. A slide show thing, and it shows, okay, this is 400 people. this is 1,000 people.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is 20,000.
I've seen that video.
And it's actually like, wow, this is bare people. Right?
Yeah.
Like obviously on like, because it's on your phone or whatever, you might belittle it, but bro,
Desensitized on the numbers.
Yeah.
1,000 people is a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why you shouldn't really look at the numbers per se. It's easier said than done. Of course, you want to be able to reach as much people as possible.
Yeah.
But again, even when I look at my kind of content, I think predominantly this year, my main focus was what can I do that I can be consistent? Because they always say that consistency would then attract the audience, and then you can then filter out a lot of things that you can be. Because now you've gained the audience. Now they like what you do, right? So my content is obviously switched up to kind of riddles now, and less interviews. I'll go back to interviews because I love interviews. I love interacting and meeting people, and obviously interviews and riddles kind of show that as well. But I also wanted riddles to kind of show a fun side to me. I'm not always so serious. I can have a laugh. I can joke. And in London, everyone seems so serious. Everyone's got places to. Like if you see people walking on Central Line, there's a man. People just going, bro, it's in the morning, bro. Why are you? You know what I'm gonna say? But I hear it. We live in London, so why not give something where something lighthearted, but it still makes people laugh. Like when I'm engaging with these people, they're having a laugh to their day. I'm like, do you know how many times after a riddle off camera, I'm like, I love that, you know. Like, honestly, I didn't know none of the questions, but you actually just put a smile on my face. That's an impact. Right? I don't know what this person might have been facing, but the fact that something so small as riddles just put a smile for whether it be 10 minutes, that's still something.
Genuine.
And then my content will still also grow as well because I'm a growing individual. I want to talk more about the Bible. I want to talk about more about my relationships and getting closer to God. That will still come. And I will go back to interviews as well because I'm going to be exposed to new people that I actually genuinely am intrigued about their life. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I think ultimately as well, don't be afraid to kind of try different avenues. And I think that's sometimes we get stuck, rooted because we think that that's the only thing that we can do. But you're not going to know until you actually try. I tried all those because it's like, you know what? Let me just actually see. And that's not to say I'm a comedian, but it's something that I know that, bruv, we all love to laugh, bro. Who doesn't love to laugh, bro? And who doesn't love to solve a riddle, like a quick problem solve? It's quick, it's simple, it's quite cheerful as well. And then the summer is going to slap. And then I'll probably go back to be like, okay, cool. Now we see someone this journey. Don't you want to see a journey rather than just the same thing over and over and over and over again?
Guaranteed.
So it is. I think in terms of like just like extrapolating from what everyone said, I feel one of the things that we think, or I think is most important, like you said, is consistency. I think when you're starting something out new, yes, you can't be worried about the numbers. You can't be worried about. You got to know your why, which is what you're talking about when you say impact. So know your why, and then just be consistent. Do you get what I'm trying to say in terms of how you're going to deliver on that, on whatever it is that you want to do? And I think that's those are probably the two most important things. I think the stat stuff and all that kind of stuff, that's like when you're trying to sell yourself to brands and get brand deals and all that kind of stuff. And you definitely don't want to lose yourself there. But you definitely want to be able to speak to these things properly and know what these things mean. Do you get what I'm trying to say in terms of attracting or getting paid what you're worth? Do you get what I'm trying to say as well? So I think all of it is again, like there's a balance. Do you know what I mean, to be cool? But I think definitely early out, you can't be worried about the numbers. That one you'll just be looking at numbers and then this one did well. Let me do this again, but in a different way. Let me cut and stick it this way.
Keep going, bro. Just keep going.
Yeah, 100.
I think when you see the consistency in numbers, then you actually, because also as well, when you're trying something new, you're actually trying to figure out what actually works for you. And that finding out for you is only social media. One thing about, again, we spoke about numbers don't lie. One thing about social media, it should always be able to tell you the truth about your content. So when you now consistently produce something, then you could be like, okay, over a span of 6 months, I've been consistent. I've been posting 3 times a week or 4 times a week. I've got X amount of this or X amount of this. But then, this one particular video had over 100 comments. Why was that? What was you saying? Or what was the context in that video? And then be like, okay, how can I reshape this where I can get more of this? Because when you have the engagement, the impression starts to grow up. Do you know what I mean? It's the analytics part as well. So it's like, when you have that part as well, when you understand it, it's like, okay, you're forcing people to kind of generally have a say on what it is that you're kind of putting out there as a content. And then when you have that and you have that consistently, then you can start to be like, okay, cool, this worked. Let me try this another way. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I feel like one person I always like to do is Charlie Mace's. You're not going to get one form of content. But I love his social commentary. Like he'll comment on this or comment on this or comment on that. He's not just a one trick. He'll comment on so many different things, but his take on it and how he's delivering it would always be well received. Because that's what we know Charlie for.
Facts.
Facts.
Obviously, like, share, subscribe on all socials, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
All right, let's get into some testimonies. Every week we like to go around, talk about what God has done in our lives. Testimonies is a great way of encouraging faith. So we like to do that every week, innit? I'll start.
That's what we like to do that.
That's it.
We like to do that every week.
No, that one there.
Do that.
Come on.
But yeah, I mentioned it just before, innit? So a year doing content now.
Yeah.
So literally, I think it was like last week. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, well
And
done,
again, so even doing content, yeah, it's just so not me before. But now I'm actually saying, no, I actually do content. So if you ask me what I do, I'll say part of what I do. With
When you
content.
say a year doing content, though, are you talking about the Yoruba?
Yeah, so
stuff
it's a
in
year.
particular?
It's a year since I've started posting, and that was on Nad's and Toby's wedding. So that made it a year, and that was, I think maybe the anniversary might have been like 3-4 weeks ago, or a month ago, something like that. But I got the notification on TikTok. You know, it shows a year ago you done whatever, and that was the first video that I was like, hey, listen, I'm doing Yoruba lessons, X, Y, and Z, whatever. And it's been, I've actually enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it, bare still. And even like the whole like kind of like finding the sort of videos that I do, and then meeting people face to face, and then you know what? I actually saw your video and I learned X, Y, Z, or I saw your video and I signed up to do lessons.
Okay, nice.
And I have like visibility of like referrals, innit? So I can see that, okay, there's actually people that are actually doing lessons, innit? And that's really like why I actually started doing it. For people to actually go and learn. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing it. So it's been a year and it's
what's
been fun
mad
still.
is that I was chatting to someone the other day, and then I showed them like who you were, and they were like, Mr. Yoruba. Oh, you know that,
Do you know what?
Which was so,
do you know what
like,
brings me so much
it
joy,
was
bro?
funny still.
So like when either somebody sends me a screenshot of their group chat, and their mum has put one of the videos in the group chat, or when like, when like aunties and uncle message man like, hey,
bro,
like, oh, well done, like, I'm proud of you, you're doing well.
So funny.
Hey, that is like
a nice feeling.
Bro,
Yeah,
I told you those
yeah, yeah.
feelings that on Christmas, I would play these videos at my house, fam. I wish I recorded it. My mum was like, Emmanuel. And my auntie, and then they're still giving like, no, he's good. He's good. Your brother start saying, was he born there? He's trying. Bro, they get so happy. But that's the thing though. So they're also happy when not only when like foreigners speak Yoruba, but when we are speaking Yoruba, they see that they're embracing it. They also get haps as well still. So sick.
Yeah, no, we thank God, man. It's been a journey. We're back still.
Yeah, come on.
Thank God.
Thank God. Come on.
Many more years too.
Amen. Testimony. I think I'm still not off the high of the fact that I'm an uncle now, innit?
Jeez, congrats, bro.
Congrats,
man. Congrats.
So May 2nd, Friday, May 2nd at what, 5:30 a.m. in the morning? 5 o'clock in the morning. Sister gave birth, became an uncle, and it really just kind of puts life into perspective. Ultimately, just seeing a little life in your hand. You just kind of like, the maternal instinct comes out of you. Like, you're gonna, you don't know what kind of uncle you have right now. No way, when you come to like, people will be coming to you, look at your uncle, they know your uncle very well, like, that kind of thing. But you have such a pride feeling of where, like, you want to do everything and this child, for this baby. And just seeing how it's kind of had a toll on the family, or the family closer together. My mum and my sister just bonded a lot more now. Me and her bonded a lot more now. I'm getting to see her partner a lot more in different ways that I didn't see as before. And it's nice to just have that kind of, there's no longer a barrier now, or mystiqueness to who her partner is. It's more so like, he's someone that's around and he's here. And I think for me, that was I think as siblings that have sisters, you just want them to be with a guy that's going to be there, bro. That has you back and has your best interest. That's all we can actually hope for, to be fair. And he has that, and he's a solid dude, and I can definitely hail him up for that still, to be fair. But just seeing that little baby, I think that's my testimony for this week. And then obviously, as I mentioned clearly, this year we'll make it 10 years. I think, is it March? March will make it 10 years of doing content, being a presenter and choosing that journey. Do you know what I mean?
Decades.
Decade. Man can be like Drake that now. Decade. I've been doing this thing for a minute still. I think that would be my testimony, and just being able to have this position, and just to be, this might even sound cliche, but I'm happy to be alive. Everyone's background is different, but I grew up in Hackney. So if you know any kind of research of Hackney, it's definitely something to be like, definitely have on your shoulder and be like, listen, you've did well. You've come out of something that's known as a jungle, and you actually have no criminal record, no back. You can go into the thing and get a loan from the bank. The credit is good. Do you know what I mean? No,
people,
and it sounds
people
like
underestimate.
For us, it's a real thing, bro. It sounds sad. Like it generally sounds sad. Like this should just be a norm for us, really and truly. But if you didn't grow up like that, then it's not a norm. A lot of people I knew didn't make it like that. So just having that and just having that perspective and be like, the future was always a beautiful place because it's endless. You can actually be what you want to be, and just having that and just being able to be around with my sister and having that opportunity to be able to see the baby grow in it. So,
That's sick, bro.
Thank God. If you want to see a power of God, go witness a baby. Go witness a woman giving birth.
It's a miracle. Still.
100%
a miracle.
100%.
No, it's mad. With me,
I can
Because everyone looked at me and said, you're right,
we weren't going to go that way.
Normally we do, though.
No, you actually going to, but you said something. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, sorry, my bad. No, my bad. Do your thing,
I did the normal thing. I
didn't know it.
But so I think I said it a few weeks back that my godson he got hit by a car.
Hey,
yeah, man, he got hit by a car a few weeks back. But thank God, it was good. It was in the cast. Went to see him the other day. He's out of the cast now. They said there's going to be a quick recovery. Like they said, it's going to be quicker than they thought. So he's and he was playing football as well.
Okay, cool.
So I even go to his games on Sundays now. Be like watching him. So when his coach found out that he got injured, bro, he was gone because he was like, "Fam, how long is he out for?" But two things. So one, I was grateful that recovery is swift, it's quick, he's okay. It seemed like he's going to be back on his feet soon. I think in the next two weeks he can get back to like fast walking kind of thing. And the week after they said light jogging, and then we'll play it by ear. So one thing, I'm thank God for like speedy recovery. But secondly, just like, but when the coach was just talking about the football stuff, I was like, you know what it is? Like when we said this before, thank God that there's that, and his mum is encouraging him to play ball as well. Like thank God there's adults around him that can help steer him in a certain direction. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That even the fact that I was laughing, even the fact that there's a football coach having a conversation with his mum at that age is a funny, because for us, fam, I don't think there was any coach that knew our parents' name in anything other than teachers. Do you get me? Other than teachers, or if they said play the flute for extracurricular. Do you get me? There was no conversation with anyone like that. Whereas now, like, you can be into different things and have that freedom, that space to do so. And it's sick to see. Even him talking to me about, like, he wants to get a physio. Like to help like recovery and stuff. I was like, you know what, man, slow your horses, bro. We're getting there, but just thank God for that, man. I was happy to see and happy to be part of it.
That's
calm.
Yeah,
man.
Blessings.
Do you know what? You just reminded me of something else actually. So like a while ago, I went to watch one of my like nephews play ball with it, and like they were in like a final or whatever. When I got there, so I was late in it and got there at the end of the first half, and literally as I got there, the other team had scored and it was now 2-2 in it. It was just funny, because obviously the game ended 10-2.
Chai!
What? It was mad.
What?
Like his team just turned it up.
Oh
like,
my
nowhere,
days.
bro.
In a 10-2 final?
Shipping goals, bro. It was mad still, I can't lie. But one of the things that I'm grateful for there, is like, so obviously we got friends that are in football, in the world, like, of football, innit? And like I've got one of them to come to watch a game, to come and see him play and just be like, give him some advice and all that kind of stuff in it. And especially where he's at a point now where he's looking for like scholars and all that kind of stuff. So
how old is he?
He's 15.
Okay, cool.
He just turned 15 basically.
Okay, so he's looking to sign a contract soon.
Exactly. Do you get? And like, so he's gone on trials and all that kind of stuff as well. And like, just a lot has been going on sort of thing, innit? And I feel like now he's starting to get like the traction that he's been wanting. And the thing is as well, like, without saying too much in it, like, him and all of his brothers, by the way, like, bro, you don't understand. It's mad. Like, them man have been shouted by all of the top clubs. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But then because of like logistics and stuff like that, and it took me back to the whole when we were young, innit? So even like, for example, like, I remember because my PE teacher had a football team outside of school, innit? And I remember the first time my mom took me there, and like he was speaking to her about the football and all that kind of stuff, and he was like, "No, he's got to come." Like, blah, 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 blah. But obviously, like, listen, these times my mom's working multiple jobs. Like, how? How is it gonna work? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it took me back to that because that was the situation then. But now because of his age, they can do a lot more. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
In terms of like, alright, cool. Once we've got you in, it's like, we can do the whole send a Uber and all that kind of stuff. And this is that and the other. And before, some of the clubs that he was working with were like Koi. Like, when I say Koi, I mean like 2 hours away. And
Yeah.
so like, that's got to wait up, sort of, and then because obviously, bro, 2 hours. This is train, yeah. It's like 2.5, two and a bit car, yeah. So it don't make no sense that driving there. Cool. Catch the train back. Man, wait up midnight. This guy's getting home. He's got school the next day.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that. But now things are falling into place here in a way where it's like, alright, cool. So it's a London club. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's like, alright, cool. Like, yeah, we can pattern that. Do you get? So I just thank God for that and opening those doors, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my testimony.
No,
to this.
thank God.
Thank God still.
Yeah, man. Thank God. Thank God.
Thank God always.
Obviously, so
Listen,
you know we do.
we got a special guest in
Got
the
a special
building.
one,
Come on.
Got a
Yeah,
special one.
got a special guest in the building and that.
You get me?
Obviously, got the multimedia mogul. Do you know what I mean? Top radio presenter.
Come on.
You get what I'm trying to say? We got the voice of the streets.
Come on.
The people's champ. Aye. Got a man like Samuel Any in the building, bro. I'm telling you. Listen.
And again, we say it, but we'll get into it. But a long time coming.
Long time.
Long time. I'll say.
Absolutely long time coming.
When was the first date in Black?
4 years ago.
4 years ago.
2021.
2021, yeah.
So
2021.
from
Yeah. It's mad.
long time. It's mad.
It's been a minute,
But bro.
still.
Everything's all timing though, man.
Yeah, time.
Word.
It's just a matter of when, innit?
Yeah.
100%.
No, facts,
So,
bro.
yeah, everything's all timing.
100%. But listen, love for coming on, man.
Yeah, man.
100%, man.
And obviously-
You've been showing love from early, so
Yeah, always.
absolutely, man. 100%.
Always, bro. And obviously, as you're here, we always do a little icebreaker, little game.
Come
You know
on.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So it's called Minister Minute. Yeah?
Minutes to minute.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
You know where this is going, boy.
I saw his thinking cap.
Okay.
So what we do, we're going to pick a random item in the room.
Okay.
You're going to have 1 minute to make a sermon out of it.
Sermon.
A sermon out of it. 1 minute.
That's a
Yeah?
sermon. Aye.
There's no thinking time. We're going to pick it and we're going to start the clock. Yeah? I'm going to demonstrate. I normally demonstrate. So
Yeah.
I let these men pick an item. You can get the timer out and then we can go from there.
Okay.
Or something, bro. You feel free to pick an item as well and
Okay.
I'll go. And then one of the man get the timer out and then we'll do it.
Luke is here.
Lucasade, yeah?
You know, it's so funny because so in my head, yeah, I thought that somebody might say Lucasade. So I kind of already had
But
like
you
a little angle with the Lucasade.
Are you ready? So I'm not thinking too much. I'm deliberately not thinking about what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Whatever, man.
Deliberately. God knows.
That's
God,
whatever, mate.
God knows my art, mate. You know what I mean? God's my art.
Whatever, mate. I know you've been thinking about
Nah,
it.
I haven't.
3, 2, 1, go.
Thing about life is that oftentimes we feel like we need to be refreshed. Yeah, we feel parched. We feel like we need a input of energy in our lives. So we go for different things. Some people go for water, which is a healthy option. But sometimes you need something just a bit more. Other times people go for caffeine, they go for coffee, and that can give you a short-term buzz, but it's a bit jittery at times. Other people try Lucasade, and even though it's a sport drink, sometimes you need more than that. And what you really need in terms of energy is the spring of life. That gives you the energy, that gives you the vision, the power, the drive to go forward. If you're looking for a drink, look for the water of life. That's done. That's just an example.
Yeah, that's hard
That's just
That's
an
hard
example. That's just an example. So
Okay.
that's what we're gonna
I'm
do.
gonna try that. Ooh,
Yeah.
So you still had
cool.
more time on the clock, innit?
Fam, you said that. I had
Is
3
it still at
seconds.
time? How many is it?
I had 3
Like
seconds.
4 seconds.
I had 3 seconds.
You said, and that's that at 4 seconds.
No, I didn't. I said 3 seconds. I was looking.
Fair enough.
All right, cool. So,
I'll go next though.
all right, Iman will go next.
Wait, is this 40, man? Pick us up 40.
Yeah,
big
big
is for me,
big is
so-
out for him.
Yeah.
The maddest thing is, that fam, you used that sermon before, bro.
No,
There needs to be an embargo on all that. There needs to be an embargo. You need to say something different. You need to say something different, bro. You need to say something different.
You guys are hating, bro. No, something's good. You know No, something's good. You have to bring it down.
I'm not trying to bring it down. I'm not trying to bring it down. I'm not trying to bring it down, yeah. Hear what I'm saying, yeah? Part of this whole thing, yeah, is to think on your feet, innit?
Yeah.
But you got to think of new things, innit?
What did you use it before?
Huh?
What was that before?
You use, bro, as in we've heard that sermon so many times in terms of water, in terms of parched. How many times has he said parched?
How many times has he parched?
We said parched. Come
Boy,
on,
and I'm just happy it's recorded.
Aye.
I'm so happy it's recorded.
And see, there's people out there that have a brain like man. Aye,
I'm just
do
so
your
happy.
due diligence.
I'm just so happy.
We've heard the spring of life. We've heard the water of life.
Okay.
Not the spring of life. We've heard the water of life. Yeah. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's good, innit? Energized.
The truth,
energetic,
innit?
innit?
Fair
It's just that
Do you get me?
I have to mix it up sometimes, innit, lads?
Boy.
Cool. He's gonna fit for Eman.
There was one time someone got Hand of God, yeah. We already had a guest on that. They've done Hand of God.
Mm.
I just didn't say nothing at the time.
I
The
said
person,
it,
the person you said
I said
nearly
that
the
we've had
exact
hand
same
of
thing.
God. No, but I said that we had hand of God before. So
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
accept it, willingly accept it. It was
Okay.
given- After I said we had hand of God before.
No, but no, someone's done Hand of God again though.
Yeah,
Since
I know.
yeah.
Cool. E-man. Shades.
Nah, man, not my shades, bro.
Whatever, man.
Not my shades, bro.
E-man. Shades, yeah. 3.
Why your flash?
Two.
You said you've done shades.
Oh,
I swear he's done shades.
No, guys, you don't have to do all of
No,
that.
no.
Just-
I swear you've
it's
done
good.
shades though. Have you? Or you do glasses or something like that?
I can't remember.
No, we've done
'Cause
lens.
Huh?
We've done lens.
Oh,
Lens.
camera lens.
Okay, fair enough.
Hey.
Fair enough.
But yeah, come.
Cool. 3, 2, 1.
Life can be very distracting.
Oof.
You've got like loads of different things that can kind of come in your vision, and sometimes you want to go towards the light because it's the brightest thing, and it's the thing that you can see no matter where you are. Because whenever there's darkness and there's light, you kind of go towards the light. But sometimes the light is a bit too bright. Light is representative of like loads of different things, and I'm speaking figuratively. Like the light can be, and more time, light is something that's positive, innit? But in this, the light can be something that is negative. Something like the sun, you get sunlight from it, but you also get heat from it. And sometimes you can get too hot, and sometimes the light can be too bright. And in those instances, you can put on some sunshades. And when you put on sunshades, they kind of dim it down a bit. They help you manage the light. So in this life, what we need to do is we need to allow Jesus to be our sunshade. So when the bright light gets too bright, you can put them on and we'll be able to manage. Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
You know what's so funny? Bro, I was at, you know, like
You build it.
waffle.
Yeah. He's waffling. It's good though. It's good. You've had practice with this, so you should be able to waffle now.
What?
You have had bare practice with this. You should be
Because
able
when I
to
say the
waffle.
thing about the light being negative, I was like, hold on, what do you mean light negative?
Yeah.
Light is-
I hear it.
No, but I hear it though.
No, I hear it still.
No, I hear it.
I hear it still.
Cool.
But if I
What's
start
my
talking
one
about
now?
the
Is
light
it,
being
you ready to
negative,
go?
Yeah, bro.
ready to go, yeah? You don't want to go lost.
Nah.
Save the best to last on that.
Nah. Let's go. Let's run it. Let's run it.
All right, cool. Car key. Yeah.
Car keys, yeah.
3, 2, 1.
See, in life, yeah, there's so many doors, so many options that you have. And not every door is the best door for you. Not every door has your best interests. Some doors are there to teach you a lesson. Some doors are there to kind of probably give you a detour and probably end up in the right spot. And other doors, you're just not meant to touch or go there. And with those doors, you have different set of keys. Some keys have different meanings. There's a key that might give you a mental kind of strength. There's a key that might open and unlock your heart to the right person. There's a key that might open and unlock physicality, where we're supposed to grow as human beings. But one thing is certain, we're all here to connect, communicate, build community, but also more importantly, make sure that we're aligned with our spirit and where we're heading to. And this is where God comes involved. Because without prayer, without faith, how do you know what key is the best one to unlock the right door?
The last bit, I said,
that was good, natural, yeah?
That was good. With God.
That was good.
How do you know?
Another string to his bow, boy.
Yeah,
See, but this is what I don't like, bro. Why are you making my girl after that? Like, come on, bro. No, that was cold.
Car key was a good one though.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, cool. I started
yeah.
thinking, I was like, all right, cool.
I got the
Yeah,
bro.
Steph Curry, I hear
Trust
it.
me,
Still.
right?
Oh, man.
I just want to say that obviously that I've been having a pounding headache. But I've been managing it, innit?
Disclaimer.
I've been managing
All
it.
right, what we got? We've already got like.
I got something.
You got something?
Yeah, a receipt.
Okay, cool.
A receipt.
Cool.
Alright, cool. Here we go.
1 second. Alright, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, so in life, one of the things that I talk about a lot is when Paul said that, listen, everything is permissible, but not everything is conducive. Now, in life, a lot of the time, we have what we want to achieve, right? We have our goals, we have our objectives, we have a way and a direction in which we think life should pan out. Now, what normally happens is that we take detours. Things don't always go the way that it should go. But one thing that we really need to do is we need to hold steadfast to God's word. Yeah? Through the ups and downs, we need to make sure that regardless of how we feel about situations, what would Jesus do needs to be at the top and at the forefront of our minds. The reason why I say that is because when Judgment Day comes, God is going to have a receipt of every idle conversation and everything that you've done. And you want to make sure the receipt is blessed. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Word.
Make sure receipt is blessed.
Hey, make sure you
Guys,
know.
make sure- guys, make sure your receipt is
I need to
blessed.
show this. Hey,
Make sure your
Make sure
receipt
receipt
is
is
blessed.
blessed.
yeah, make sure receipt is
That's what me and my household.
Come on, amen.
The Lord serve the Lord, bro.
Amen,
Serve the Lord.
amen.
You get it?
Our receipts will be blessed.
But yeah, no, that was lit still.
Yeah,
That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
That's
holding
hard.
it.
Yeah.
What's so funny? Someone shouted at me the other day. They were like, "Nah, that they were doing it. That when we give dilemmas, they just start."
Yeah.
That's
That's
lit still.
That's
hard.
That's
It's lit still.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, but obviously we've got a special guest in the building.
Yeah,
Obviously we're
man.
giving them an intro before.
Yeah, yeah.
We've got our boy Samuel Ennie in the building.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Bro. Like, so we want to chop it up, man. Just understand a bit more about yourself, like growing up and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
one of the things we always like to ask our guests is like, what was you like growing up? So like, were you like, for example, like some people might talk about, oh yeah, I was the funny kid or da-da-da-da. Or, to be fair, I never really got on with no one and da-da-da-da and all that kind of stuff. But what was it like? Like, who was like Samuel Ennie? Like, I don't know.
So we're talking about
Your early
far
memories.
back, like primary school, secondary school days. I was
Yeah.
very shy. I was a chunky kid. Weren't really getting no attention from girls and stuff. Secondary school, I had like a kind of like a, I wouldn't say them. I had like family members who were kind of in gang culture and stuff. So you kind of somewhat felt protected as well because they were like affiliated and stuff, right? 16 had a growth spurt, and that kind of opened my door to women in a sense of where people were interested in, well, women were interested in me, right? Then I started obviously training, a lot of training in terms of gym. Like I just fell in love with the gym, especially from a very young age. Just wanted to kind of build that because when I had a growth spurt, I also dropped a lot of the weight. So I was no more chubby as well. So you could really see my face. There was no pop-off cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, pop-off cheeks. That one just disappeared. Like, you could really see my eyes. Like, you know, they weren't hiding underneath the fat. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, really had that growth spurt. So, you can really see my skin and everything like that. And that's just kind of brought the attention and stuff. So, I think from like 16 onwards, I was kind of, maybe they were being labelled, but I would say that, yeah, somewhat of a ladies' man. Kind of just getting that new to attention, innit? So to be fair, you kind of run with what you had. You run with your strengths, really and truly. So
We spoke about that the other day, innit?
Yeah.
You know when you start, you know when you get to, when you hit your rhythm in terms of how to chat to girls and all that kind of stuff.
You run with your strength, man. You run with your strengths. And that was in in college and in uni, just became bigger because obviously you're open to different kind of girls that were from different parts of London, parts of the UK as well. So yeah, in those kind of sequences as well, like did a bit of F in those time period because that was the in thing to do around the time with your boys and stuff as well. Boys that you kind of cultivated in uni as well, innit? So we just kind of, as much as we were doing our studies, we also wanted to make money. Let's be honest, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? But we was all like, somewhat like, I don't want to say competition, but we somewhat had like a thing of where we would motivate each other silently though. So a lot of us at the time didn't have our license, but one by one, started to get our license. And then one by one, we start to get our cars. So man will go from Ford Focuses to BMWs. And that. So that natural progression of how it is between all of us, right? So we was having that. And I think naturally I would just be known as more so as like the ladies guys doing events. When I came out of uni, that was pretty much the kind of thing. And then because I studied media and IT, I remember at the time, I spoke to my mum because I had P's these times. I just passed my license. I was like, should I get a car or should I just get a camera? Invest in myself before I even knew what investing in myself would like. And me and my mum always have that strong dynamic where we're very much, we speak on the phone, especially around them times as well when I was younger as well. And she was just like, get a camera, innit? Like you're studying this for a reason. Invest in yourself. I remember I spent like 2 bags on a camera because I know slap
back
another
then
bag.
as well.
2 bags on a camera back then.
2 bags on a camera.
You know what I'm saying? 2 bags on a camera. I was like, them times there, you know that I really wanted to spend that on car. I really wanted to be whipping it as well, to be fair. So, but she's like, get the camera. I was just like, okay, cool. Let me just listen to Marge. And I think that camera then led to me getting a little mini kind of work experience thing between 2nd and 3rd year of uni and just seeing what the real world is like being behind the camera. So that's where my journey kind of started, being behind the camera. And I got to a lot of these, I was shooting. So just taking photography, mainly started off with photography.
Okay.
Just getting to know the ropes and stuff, innit? Working within a team and stuff. And I'd worked with a PR company and stuff and just learning how things would be done in a professional outlet. Weren't getting paid, but I was getting the experience. So there was one particular event that happened like years back. They used to do this in O2, Musicalize, years back. And they had a lot of guests then. And I think at the time, the presenter that was supposed to be on the day couldn't make it. So I was just like, let me do it because I knew a lot of the artists at the time. I'd listened to them. So these was like Chip, Captain Conan, Youngin, but these are like, Captain Conan were a lot more senior than them. I think this was when they released Otis.
Okay.
So around that period of time. And Youngin was new to the fold. I think Youngin was hot because he did like Fresh SBTV. I remember that was and then they signed to like Play Dirty and stuff. So between that period as well. So had that. And then I was in front of the camera. I didn't have any questions prepped. But because you consume the music, you kind of you're asking more so from a fan perspective as opposed to a presenter. You're just like, I want to know this, I want to know that, I want to know that. And obviously I always had an affinity for music and a love for music and stuff. So I was just like, And then my manager at the time, she was just like, you shouldn't be behind the camera. You're a natural. Like, be in front of the camera. Like, that's your thing. And then that's when I did the research. Like, what does a presenter do? Like, what does it mean to be a presenter? Because I didn't know what it was before. Went back to uni, finished 3rd year, got my degree. And then I was just like, all right, cool. Now I'm out in the field. What can I do? Funny enough, I went back to that company because they had a role, paying me little bits here and there, covering travel, meals and stuff. But I was more gassed because I had a camera and I was having access to the stuff. And I was meeting people and I was networking and I was getting to meet some of the artists that I listened to and stuff. So I was just gassed, fresh in the scene. Gassed, just making name, making contacts and stuff. But I also was doing my doubling down research of like, what does a presenter do? And around the time, Reggie Yates was the in thing. Like, he was the guy. He's the first guy that I was like, yo, and then obviously when diving more into it, you see Trevor Nelson at BBC Radio 1 and just really making in the fold. And there weren't really that many of us. So it was very easy to find us out because there weren't that really many black people as there are now. You know what I'm saying? So that was where I was like, but when I saw Reggie Yates, I was like, I want to be that. He was killing it on documentaries, radios, TVs. He had the life that I wanted and he was like killing it. And I'd really literally do case studies. But then I think that's where my discipline in terms of just learning of what it meant to be a presenter really took shape. So then at that time, I remember I was trying to get on a radio station, community radio. Like people I was doing, wanted to get my name just out there, just have a radio slot. So I tried Westside, but they turned me away. And then I think Snapchat was big these times. Before Snapchat went dipped and then came back. So Snapchat was bigger these times. And then I went on a course at Global. So Global House, like Capital Extra, Smooth, all the other kind of other radio slots, right? So I had a little course there for like a 3-month summer thing there. And I've met a few friends of mine who are friends to this day. So then the manager of Westside kind of saw me and gave me a show, threw me deep in the deep end. So I worked there for a couple of years. And then after that, I got headhunted. This is me just like, headhunted to go on Represent Radio. And they had never done that before because they don't actually like picking presenters from other station. But the manager at the time, who's not there no more, saw something in me and he gave me a chance. And he asked me, what did I want? And I was like, I want to be on TV. I want to do what Reggie Yates does. He's like, all right, cool. You need daytime. You need a daytime slot. And he just like helped me get into the mode of what a represent setting look like? Because every radio station has their different ethos and had their different target audience. So you just need to understand the mechanisms of what this makes tick. But growing up, I knew that represent was the end thing because a lot of the BBC kind of alumni came from represent. So a lot of their talent would be picked from represent to go international, right? So when that was the case, lockdown came. And I was at home. So imagine I'm about to start, but we got to sit indoors, we got to chill and that, you know what I'm saying? We can't even do nothing. So but to show that I was still dedicated and grateful for the opportunity, I was doing my shows at home. They showed me how to set up, do the DJ mix, whatever, what have you. It wasn't the best, but what they saw was the hunger, the commitment, the fact that I was willing to just do the work anyway. And then from that, when we was able to kind of really have guests on, I was just knocking them out the park, just getting guests on and making sure the quality of the show was there, being up to date. And then I'd always love it when we'd have little segments of where we had feedback. Where can I improve on? How can I improve? Etc. etc. And Adrian, hail up Adrian, he's the OG of this thing. And he would show me how to do that and just work on my show and make it better. And then there's one tip that I took from another presenter. I'll always hail her up because her name's Henry. She's got a 6-year-old kid doing her thing right now. And she introduced to me debriefs, which was like literally after your show, literally listen back to it. Where have you gone wrong? How can you make how do you sound? How do you come across? Context. Why should people care about what you're saying on radio? Why should people actually give a damn? Do you know what I mean? What is it that you're doing and you're explaining that makes people want to be interested? And then that's where the creativity sparked a new me because it's sort of storytelling. Social media storytelling, TikTok storytelling. You're really just engaging with the masses of audio by telling a story that you want people to engage with, really and truly. So how do you do that? And then, I just learned from that. And then from there, I just knew that as time went on, yes, I'm grateful for my show on Represent Radio, but you also want to grow and expand and diversify and stuff. So that's when I think I went back onto YouTube, started to do more interviews. And then fast forward now, we had BT. And then we land on the fact that one thing that lockdown helped me was being able to have therapy. Because before that, I'd been in a situationship that lasted for too long. But that situation lasted so long because I wasn't ready to commit to that individual. And there was nothing about that person. That person was really good. But I just wasn't ready to commit to that individual. Do you know when that broke down, I was like, why am I not ready to commit to that? You have to generally one thing in lockdown is you have to sit with yourself and
100%.
What are you doing? What's happening? When this thing phases goes, who you want to be as a person, who you want to be as a man, what's the deciding factors? Where's your character? Who do you want to be?
Bro, I feel like you dropped
do you know what it is?
I need to dissect something before you jump to that.
Onto the next one.
I need to dissect some things before.
Yeah.
Kai, bro.
So one of the things I was going to ask you actually, was just so obviously in terms of what it sounds like, so the way that even the opportunity that you had in terms of being the presenter at the time with Krept and Conan and all of those stuff. And then your manager then saying that, you're a natural and you should
That's what I was going to say. The manager thing still.
Yeah, so is it I'm even going back to you sort of thing. Before that moment, have you ever done anything kind of interviewing or
none?
Did you have the same, you see how now you've got a affinity towards, you like to get to know people, you like to talk to people, you like to find out what's interesting about them and all that kind of stuff. And it comes across when you talk here. Did you have that back then?
No.
So this was all literally a grace that you had that you didn't know anything of. But because of obviously how you've fallen into it, it just worked perfectly for you because you already know these artists and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's that too as well. But you got to think about social structures in institutions that we've grown up in. School, secondary school, college, university. Who were you in those kind of surroundings? Were you the guy that was quiet or did people know you? I wasn't the guy that was quiet. I was definitely people. I would say I had the least to say, but people still knew me. But I was around the guys that had a voice. They were making things move because obviously they were doing F at the time, innit? So I think ultimately it was just you then found your voice in those spaces purely because it's again, when you're a ladies man, you're naturally talking to girls anyway. And let's be honest, if you want to throw a party, you got to have girls there. Mandem. We always know X equals Y. You know what I'm saying? 2 plus 2. So you can pattern that. Mandem are coming through. Do you know what I'm saying? So that will build your character and also build your relational skills.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at the time. Because it was just a normacy in just being in those surroundings.
Yeah.
How does that work in your work environments? I've learned so much in terms of how relationships are so important. It doesn't matter how sick you are at the job. If no one's in those rooms batting for you and really can see like, yo, I mess with this person, it becomes not impossible, but harder.
Need that advocacy.
Advocacy. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's what I literally, my first example was of my manager at the time.
That's
Because I didn't see that in myself. She did.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it wasn't like a joke thing. She was saying it, no, you should do that.
And do you know what it is? It reminds me of like one of these African proverbs, where they talk about like an elder or someone that's gone before you can see further than you than if you were to stand on the chair and look. Yeah. And like, obviously, we know what that proverb means, and it just means that obviously they've experienced a lot more, so they understand situations without having the same sort of, let's say, physical vision that you have. They can see past what the situation presents. And I feel like even with that, that's obviously God's providence again, where it's like having that manager in your life at that point in time is what propelled you into this thing fully. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But then you could have had someone else at the time, and it kind of, it's like I don't know, it's like a reminder for people that are in those positions.
Yeah.
Where you've got a lot of young talent coming through and all that kind of stuff, and just how important it is that you are an incubator for that talent, basically. And you're someone that helps nurture it and grow that talent. You're one that instills confidence in someone. Because I'm not like, without a shadow of doubt, her saying that to you would have made you feel like, if you didn't think about it before, you would have felt like, well, how did you feel? Was it like, do you know what, fair enough, like, yeah, maybe I can do this, or do you get what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely. It was one of those, I feel like when you're young, we're so curious. And I feel like as we get older, we should never lose that curiosity. Especially as we grow up to become young men, fathers, uncles, get into relationships, become husbands. We should never lose that curiosity, because that can help us not only in our personal lives, but it could be an environment where you're in a work environment now, you're killing it, but how do you get to that next level? That curiosity helps as well. And then also, it also helps if you have someone in your corner. Like, again, it's like what Iman was saying. It's like when someone was saying that, I did this journey self-made and stuff. It's not everything you did yourself. You may have done some certain hard parts. Don't get me wrong. You had to graft, you had to grind, 100%. But you had help. You had help. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether that help came from a job and it was paying you every month, that's still help, bro. Because that job, you funded yourself to be able to get. You know what I'm saying? So you had help, bro. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
So go on.
I was going to say, are you your mum tight? Because you mentioned
Do
you know what
it is? It's because it was me and her for a long time. So my dad left me when I was 3 years old, innit?
Okay.
So it was me and her for a long time. So that, I've always said this anyway. I don't know if it's true. I think it's true anyway. Especially when you're the first one. I think the bond between mother and son is a very, very strong bond. Like a very, very strong bond. Especially when you've been an only child for such a long time. And then obviously I take 8 years from my sister, innit? So she's coming to the phone a lot later, innit? But that bond there is like, imagine the man that you came to this country for has left you, and now you're here to raise his son. And you've got a community, but the person you fell in love with ultimately is just up to dip. How are you gonna, you know what I'm saying? And your sisters can be your sisters for so long, but they're not there in the evening and the quiet night where you're crying and, do you know what I'm trying to say? And then you've got these pills to play because initially it was supposed to be us. We wanted to start a new life in London. You know what I mean?
No, what?
And we've come from Nigeria to start a new life in London, and you just left me. Crazy. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So kudos to mothers that be able to kind of handle that and go through that. You know what I'm trying to say? But
100%.
my relationship with my mum is definitely strong. But it's also helped me in my relationship with my sister. And it's so funny because them two butt heads. Not as much as they used to, but I'm always like the medium person. I don't think you understand how much you are her. My sister can't see it. She doesn't think it. But I'm like, you wouldn't know, but I would see it. Do you know what I mean? Just in terms of your mannerisms, how you are. Even if you look at an image of when my sister was like 20 and my mum was like 20. Uncanny.
Crazy.
Like literally body type, everything, facial, like uncanny. You are her, bro, but you don't see that. Do you know what I'm saying? You might not have done the things that she's done, but you are her.
Because the reason I was going to ask was because, initially you had that conversation with your mum, like, mum, should I get a camera? You know, that's like
pivotal.
It's a pivotal, and it's not a usual conversation you would hear people have.
Oh yeah,
with their parents, especially because of the route you're trying to take.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because normally you're like, what camera? Like,
Yeah.
For what?
Like, for what? Do you get me? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want the camera for?
It made sense,
Especially for
Do you
two
get me?
bags.
They'll tell you. They'll tell you that I can go. I remember one time I was
The
chatting
camera
about
for two.
for two
What?
Yeah.
2,000, not one.
But bro,
Now,
look how much money we spend on uni, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And if I'm gonna be at a place for like 3 years, you got to
Yeah.
plus your degree, you got to
Yeah,
show
yeah,
something.
you got to show something. Yeah,
So it made
No,
sense. So I was just like, bro, like either that or a car. I was like, I was hoping she said a car.
Yeah,
Because at them times,
yeah.
but you're
young,
but all
innit?
your boys are getting whips.
yeah.
So
yeah.
naturally, so you wanna be a part of the mandate. You know what I'm trying to say? You wanna get a whip as well. So
So was it an easy conversation to tell your mum, look, in terms of the
I was trying to
route, the
convince
route
her
you're trying to go?
to tell me to get a car, bro. I was trying to convince her, bro.
So even
you weren't trying to hear it, bro.
even after that, so even
That's lit as
when,
well,
when you
though.
started to pursue, like, you know what, this is what you want to do. You're presenting, you're on radio.
Mm.
Like, were you? How did your mum take that? Was it just like, you know what, like, well done, keep going in that route, or were there like
She's-
questions?
She's always been supportive
Mm.
because I think one thing about me is that I'm not a lazy person. So even from young, she would always see evidence of that.
And that's important though.
Mm.
That's very
Working.
important still.
Working towards. She might not understand what it is,
Mm.
but if I'm up, like you can wake up at 3 a.m, go toilet, my room and my light is on.
Mm.
You're coming in, you're like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you up? I'm editing, man.
Mm.
And you see me do that
Mm.
time and time
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Sister, same thing. You see me do that time. Well, you're not gonna go to bed. I'm like, yeah, I'll go to bed when I can, innit? You know what I'm saying? Or like if I'm in my room and I'm not messing about in there, I'm
Mm.
doing something
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
genuinely
yeah,
care
yeah.
about.
Where do you think that came from though, in terms of like just that work hard, work
Just want to be
ethic?
better for myself, bro.
Mm.
I may not be there yet, but I'm definitely on that path. For
Mm.
sure.
Yeah.
100%. Because I don't believe the amount of time and hours I put into this is not going to be for nothing. Do you know what I mean? I genuinely do believe that. When God says I'm ready, maybe there's certain stuff I need to learn and get out old habits or whatever, what have you. That comes with prayer, fasting, etc. I'm on the right path. I'm on the right journey.
Mm.
But my whole thing was that you wanted more for yourself, even though at a point in time where it didn't look possible.
Mm.
Because let's be honest, I'm leaving uni. I'm still going back to Hackney.
Mm.
I'm still going back to jungle.
Mm.
Things are still popping off.
Mm.
I'm not around. I'm always hearing it.
Yeah.
Oh, so and so got stabbed. And
Mm.
this person. These lot have come around. You know, they've
Mm.
be mindful.
Mm.
Even the man them in the ends. Like there's one person I don't need to say his name, but I think there was a time where it was really, really peak in my ends around a specific time. And for some reason, I was always walking around at nighttime. And I think I'm probably around the time where they just did 24 hours gym, pure gym.
Mm.
And I wanted to go gym late.
Yeah.
But I would walk home in it. And I think one time he was in the car, I was like, bro, like, they're circling.
Mm.
They was here yesterday. Like,
Mm.
be careful. kind of thing.
Yeah.
But even for him to say that, I was just like, he knows because he's seen the stuff that I'm doing. I'm putting up.
Yeah.
Like, you're not doing that. 'Cause
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
that for yourself.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? But ultimately, it's just like, I've always felt like I felt God presence in my life. Always. Even if I may not have known that this is what God was doing.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And I think that's very, very key to be able to, because you might not be conscious enough that this is what God is doing in your life. But when you get older, you realize like, oh,
He was thinking chess moves, but it was God's grace.
bro.
You know, I love that one.
I remember one time, I think, should I even say the story?
Nah, say it.
No,
It's too late now.
So there
Or
was
a
a time-
Jaddy.
it was a peak time, yeah. I remember I just wanted to go chicken and chip shop. Yeah. I think my cousin was there. 2 of the people that I used to be cool with. We was all around my house. It was late. And I think it was probably around midnight. And my mum was like, we was all leaving to just go chicken and chip shop. Late.
Mm.
My mum was like, where are you going? You're not going anywhere. It's like, why? Like, you see me do this bare times, go shop. Why is it now that you're telling me not to go?
Mm.
But you know when she's like adamant, you're not going. I'm 17 these times. You're not going anywhere. Stay in this house. Like, you know one of them ones, like, if you dare go out, like, I was like, right, she seems, I was like, let me stay. My cousin come back, 2 of the boys, it's like, fam, your mum saved you. If these man saw you, it would have been peak. And this was just going for the chicken shop. So I swear. It's like, how many? 20. It's like 20. Like, prowling.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What's mad? I thought that 20 was like that figure.
Yeah.
The thing is, When you're young, you roll around that quick. That's what I'm saying. The man that will not exaggerate when they say at that young age, 20 man will come. I believe you, bro. I believe you, because at them times, you're young enough, you're ignorant enough, you want to do it. You want to prove yourself. You know what I'm saying? You want to prove yourself. So man that will roll around with 20 man just for like, why have you got so much money? Do you know what I mean? Like, what?
Did you ever have a pull to that? So you know, like you had older cousins that were like kind of involved or like in and around that, and obviously you lived in the ends.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever have like a pull towards that? And that kind of what was that kind of like?
There was a pull, but I just always knew that it wasn't me.
Did you have a moment? Because I say you had a moment where it was like, fam, you're not like that.
I think it's not necessarily I had a moment. I think more so it's just like, you need to be conscious of like what someone is willing to do. Think about it. Like, you're 17, you probably got olders. You know, man, they don't really care about going to prison. They will just to make a name for themselves. They are going to
full extent.
So in your head, it'll be like, are you willing to do that to someone else? That's what you really boil down to it. I would always say to myself, like, thank God I've never been back to a corner where that was the case. And I'll obviously say something off here because it's a bit too on air. But if there ever was a case, I would hate to see what that person would be like, because I feel like there's certain circumstances that changes a human being. I've seen it. Like, I've seen a guy who I know that could be calm brother, bro. I'd never thought he could ever do something like that. But because he was backed into a corner,
flipped it.
Brother, he's had to do what he's had to do. Sometimes at some point you just snap, bro. So thankfully I've never been pushed to that, because then again, it'd probably be on a different trajectory. And you're forced to do something that you generally, it's not in you. It's not what you want to do. But it's like, bro, like, I can't, man. This is a violation. I can't. You can't sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do something right now. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So thankfully so, like, I've never been put in that situation. And I've just always had God around me, even before I even knew that. So I knew that I was like, I think when I knew that I was meant for something more is when I probably reached, I think, 25, 26. I had that feeling because I just finished uni and I was just like, no, not just finished uni, I put a year out of uni and I was like, yeah, you're definitely meant for something more. You may not know what it is. But you're definitely meant for something more.
Nah.
So it's just like, you got to be like,
you got a pattern.
And you have to have patience as well, bro. This journey is not, it's a long thing. It's a long game journey kind of thing. But eventually, you'll see the fruits of your labor kind of thing.
Was that a feeling that you had?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely prayed and cried and be like, God, what's going on? Like, because the creative journey is not easy, bro.
No, it's not slow. It's a long game still. It's the long game.
Easy. I was like, bro, I could have done IT. I'm not dumb, I'm not slow. I could have got another degree and done something else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, you had that time. You still have time to.
For sure.
Facts.
You could still do that. Like, there's no greater time to actually pick up another skill than now. Because of so many online 100% schools and stuff that you can do, resources now, innit, as opposed to back it was before. So you can still do that. But it's just like, okay, I'm here for a reason. What is it? Like, I'm asking you, I'm crying, I'm pleading. God, what's going on? Like, so for me, and especially when, imagine you're doing F and you're bringing money home. You know, sometimes your mum will be like, then let me just take that. Because obviously you have to deal with cash, innit? So it's like, it's on the table all the time. So it's just like, and with me, I was just like, yeah, mum, whatever you need, just have it. Like, I've never been stingy with peas and that. I know how to say, but I've never been stingy with like, if you need it, take it. Because I'd rather give you that peace of mind and I'm going out. I've got more energy than you. I get it, you're tired. Like, I got more energy than you. Let me just do what I can do. So it's that fine balance now. Like, we're just like, I'm on this creative journey, but like, really and truly, like, God, if it's not for me, let me know so I can pick up a course and upskill and do something that I know that will bring bread.
So are you still at Represents now?
I'm still at Represent now. Just finished my show today. Early in the morning. And it was fun because I passed. One of my producers has now got her own show now, and I'm so happy for her because she's been with me since we in 2025, so 2023, ending of 2022, and just to see that natural progression. And again, it's just like back to what you were saying, Hendo. It's just having just that innate feeling of just wanting to help someone. And yes, of course, yes, he's my producer, but the stuff extra outside of that does help with like, calls, like confidence speeches and making sure that you're confident in yourself and trying to learn and be like, okay, this is what's helped me. Let me try and help you. And I think that's just naturally in me, just to be like, yo, like, do that. And you see that because now that she's got her own show, she's stepping up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're seeing the progress. Like you did a first show today. I was so happy, so gassed for her. Like genuinely like, yo, you're doing it. Man. That feeling that because I remember when he was like, you weren't happy, bro. Like he was like, Sam, I don't know if this is gonna happen for me. Like I want my own show. Like, and I'm like, I hear you. You have to be like patient. You know what I mean? If it was up to me, I'll give it to you now. But you're not ready yet. Clearly they see that. And there's a reason why you waited.
For real.
And I'm sure we all have moments in that.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
Of course.
Yeah.
One of the things that you touched on, when you was giving us the rundown, like you spoke about the period where you became like the ladies' man. Obviously, how that helped you with confidence and talking to people, all that kind of stuff. Now, in terms of like now where you're at, like, so one of the things that I feel like a lot of people attach to people that are in like, the industry sort of thing, is like, to be fair, and just calling a spade, sometimes it's like a level of unseriousness, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So it's like, I don't know if I can be with someone from the industry because they're always going to be around. This is like, you know, like the whole thing, you know, even like Love and Hip Hop, where it's like with these American rappers, they're always in the studio. There's always girls in the studio, but they need the girls for the creative inspiration. So
thank God I'm not an artist for it. I guarantee my missus would not be with me. 100%.
But what's your take on the whole like being in the industry, and like still maintaining like a solid, like good, like with a solid foundation, like relationship, like having a good relationship
with people in the industry?
Not necessarily people in the industry.
Or relationship with God?
Like, no, not even relationship with God yet, but just actually like a partner. Do you get what I'm saying? Like having like a missus, like while you're in the industry and all that kind of stuff. Like, basically, like, what does it take?
You got to know what you're in this industry for, man. I think I don't know what everyone else's MO, because I can't speak for anyone else but myself. But when I saw Reggie Yates and saw what he had, and I saw like a black man on TV, and the stuff that he was touching on serious topics. Like his documentaries weren't documentaries that you just throw away. They're documentaries that had a core, a message, a meaning. Going to these different countries, trying to see why they're so corrupt and stuff. They came with a purpose. That's what drew me to it. And I was like, if I could ever create art like this or create work like this, that's where I'm at right now. In terms of the personal stuff, naturally, as God is guiding you, you tend to form habits of where you attract other men who are on the same wavelength like you. Because I feel like at some point, you have to get out the uni phase where you being a player is long. Like, it's not for everyone if you want to maintain that. Even if you've got peace, it just becomes tiring. At some point, you have to be like, when are you going to really just be like, this is my girl. This is the one I want to be with. This is the one I want to rock with. And it comes with discipline.
Yeah, point of clarification, you said attract men, you meant women, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
so like you, it's discipline. And the thing is, like, it's so, I always say this, imagine if my dad was in my life to teach me discipline from a young age, what kind of man would I be now? Like, really deep it, like, what kind of man would I be now? I had to learn discipline for myself. That came later. And that came from a lot of trial and error. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yo, think about how you could have saved so much time if there was So because there wasn't that, how I am today is a result of an absent father. Because I knew that, one, if I was to ever get a girl pregnant, I'm involved in that life. Like, I'm there, I'm present. Because I would never want what happened to me to happen to someone else, especially off my offspring, right? And then number two, the men around me have to think the same. Let's break a generational curse. Let's stop doing that now. Like, let's generally like step up and really step up. And I always say this is like, my girl's my blessing, purely because she comes from a 2-parent household. And her dad has been pivotal in her life and the family's life. And he's like a genuine man. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's just like, we've reasoned so many occasions, like we've talked like boys, like, and just to see like, yo, like, this is a prime example of someone that has extreme patience, and he has women in his life, but he's still able to kind of still nurture, still protect, still be that man, and still be loving, but still also have a firm hand in terms of like, okay, this is how we're gonna run, and has God at the forefront. It's like, imagine having that for a lot of young black men. I promise you. You think they'll choose the road? They won't, bro. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference. There's clearly a void there. I always say I'm one of the lucky ones, because I just feel like a mother's love is strong, and prayer works. Like, if anyone doesn't understand like, how prayer works, works. Pray it works. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But I think from that, just how you kind of cultivate in a relationship in the industry, I guess my girl came to me at the right time because I was mature enough to kind of have a relationship. Maybe if I was a bit younger, it might be in a different case because I probably wouldn't want to say, like I said, like before lockdown, I was with someone for like a year and I just couldn't commit because something in me just wasn't ready. It wasn't ready. There was a void there. So when lockdown came, I really like sought out therapy. And then when therapy came, I started to see what the issue was. And that was because I was sexually molested and abused, and that was the trigger point. Obviously by a woman, and I was for a very young age in it. So that was the trigger point for me. And I was like, okay, so this is why I can't commit. So now I need to take time to actually heal.
Man.
Like heal through that. Like really heal. Sit down with yourself, and that's helped me in my relationship with my mum. Me and my sister's gotten a lot closer because I've taken that time to heal. I experienced my first heartbreak after lockdown. And then I was like, not a heartbreak in the sense of where I don't ever want to fall in love again, but I was like, is this what genuinely what love is? So all this time during my 20s and teens, I wasn't feeling love then. Like I wasn't, it was just like, oh yeah, you're saying you're dating someone or that, but there wasn't a genuine connection or feeling to this person. So when I actually felt that, I was like, well, I actually want to feel this. Like, because for me to have a heartbreak, generally that person must have genuinely loved me so well. And it was organic. You know what I'm trying to say? So
So what, you know that, so what you just spoke about now, so switching from, this is what, basically learning and realizing this is what it feels like to really love someone. To speak about that healing process, in terms of like, what did you have to, or how did you go through that healing process? What are some of the things that people could then think about? Cool, do you know what, this is something I need to do? Even in terms of like processing, for example, what's happened in the past. Do you get?
And sorry, just for context, was the breakup, was it after therapy? Was it after you had therapy or was it before?
So it was after.
It was after. Okay.
So after with therapy, so therapy was like 3 months. In lockdown. Once a week. Right? After I'd finished that, once I affirmed what I affirmed, I then had to let go. Because I can't be harboring that kind of guilt or thing anymore. Because, and one thing that the therapist said was like, it's not your fault. And I think that was so so important for me to hear. Because it genuinely wasn't my fault. Like I wasn't capable of what you wanted from me right now. I'm just not there yet. And then obviously unlearning what I had to unlearn, and then being open now with a fresh new perspective, and then also taking a risk as well.
Sorry, just on that, what's some of the things that you had to unlearn?
That it's okay to actually feel for someone. It's okay to actually open up to your partner or your girlfriend. It's okay to, you don't have to always be so stubborn or so. And if you care for this girl, show her. Like, don't, you know what I'm trying to say? Also show in a sense of like emotionally as well. Girls want to connect with you emotionally. Like they love the exterior, they love the fact that you're a manly man and you take care of them, whatever, what have you. And that's great for like the first 6 months. But when they want to go deeper, when they want to go deeper, like can I actually have a life with you? That's when it's like,
I guess it's a hard switch though. Because I think sometimes, especially with the manly man stuff, I think so often we hear the rhetoric online that that's what women want. So I guess a lot of men provide that. And then when you've given that now, then it's like, oh, okay, now I want the emotional side. It's almost like, oh, but that's not
how we came into
That's how we came into this. Do you know what I mean? So now we have to, it's almost like not a relationship adjustment, but it's a big adjustment.
I think it definitely is a big adjustment, but it also depends on the partner that you're actually communicating with at the time after therapy. So my ex had gone out of a long relationship and we connected over lockdown. And then that's where, because it's like, there was nothing to be kind of flexy on. We're all in the same position. You know what I mean? There's nothing to, so we might as well genuinely get to know each other. So with that, when we did, that's when I was like, okay, cool. Like you have a genuine feeling, And it went on for however long it went on. And then it separated and it dissolved. And then when I felt what I felt, I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I felt pain, but also I was like, yo, this is real. Like, you can genuinely feel like in love. Like, when they say love is sweet, like, it's actually possible, bro.
Yeah,
like,
very sweet.
Like, it's actually possible. So then to even meet my girl to present date, So I don't want her to be saying that I'm talking too much about we're focused on you now, yeah? Yeah, we're focused on you because you know ain't gonna be there when I want to call to her. Like, why are you talking about her? You know what I'm saying? But fast forward to her though, how it kind of just happened organically was, it's so funny. I was in a place where I was supposed to be. She was a place where she wasn't supposed to be. We met at Stormzy's festival, and then we just had a genuine vibe of wanting to get to know each other. But then also, I think my honesty with her was just like, if we ever have a riff, let's try to communicate. I think communicate can always answer and solve a lot of things, especially if it's difficult to kind of have the communication or the conversation at that present moment because our emotions are flared up and we can't have it then. Let's revisit that. And let's not always quick to pull the plug. I think a lot of this generation now.
It's quick, it's quick still.
So for me, it's just that one or two things. It's either you was never really interested in this person in the first place and everyone's just replaceable in your life, or two, you're just afraid of actually being vulnerable with this person. You don't trust your feelings with this person.
Everyone's chasing soft life.
But what does that actually mean though?
Everyone's chasing fam. Nothing should be difficult.
Look how we started off saying in terms of like things. Life just is full of ups and downs. It just happens. It's just part of life.
So what's the soft life?
Soft life is all up.
I'm genuinely curious. What is soft life? Does it mean that you lay in your bum and you don't do anything?
Bro,
Basically, yeah.
Soft life is that there's no
hardship.
There's
only ups.
Is that everything is
Isn't
that
that boring though?
if there's difficulty present, it must not be for you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like it's spoken about. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, bro, it causes, like you said, it causes the downfall. If there's a riff or even a major riff in something, the mindset isn't, all right, how can we work at this together? It's that, oh, how could you do, if this can happen, I don't want any part of this anymore. And then, do you know what I mean? Then you cut.
Because I feel like ultimately, yes, you have your non-negotiables. But then when you get to know the person, you see the character. And then actually, I think ultimately as well was when you can see that this person cares for you. Like, truly, it's not a facade. Like, it's not I'm not just saying it's just a get into your panties or whatever, what have you. I'm genuinely caring for you because I'm coming to meet your family. I always feel like it's crazy if someone messes up and they've met the family. Because I feel like if it's between you two, cool. Like, you know, it's between you two. Family's not involved now. But from time the brother's like, yo, what happened to my man? It's come on,
take it.
You're taking a bit too. You know what I'm trying to say? I feel like when families involved, you have a true intention. And I do believe us when we say like men kind of know instantly if they want to take a girl seriously. Do you know what I mean? You kind of you can see a vision when like, I just want to, you want to knack or you want to be like, let me get to know this person. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I think ultimately that plays a part in terms of where you are in life, what you kind of want out of your relationship. And I think more importantly, is God rooted in everything that you do? I'll be lying to you if my girl didn't strengthen my hold in terms of wanting to be a lot more of a man of God. I was already on that journey, but it also takes a good woman to actually make sure that hold is not flimsy. Like make it sturdy and strong.
Solid foundation.
Yeah, strong foundation. For sure.
And how are you managing that journey in the industry?
How I manage it? I'm calm, you know, bro. I don't find it difficult purely because I'm not. How can I say this? I don't get gassed when I see pretty girls. It's like, how can you be gassed at something that you've been used to from you're young? Like when I was 16, I was like, you was pulling baddies, you was doing the thing. Like, how many big bums can you really knack? Or how many girls can you like? Really, truly, if you've been out here, if you've really doing, if you've been at the events and you've done the things, it becomes repetitive, bro. Like it's not what's not new for you. And I'm again, like I said, curiosity is always going to bring me. So I'm like, I wonder what it's like to actually be committed. I wonder what it's like to actually be faithful. I wonder what it's like to actually build with someone. That's a lot more scary than just being like, okay, cool, yeah, we had a situationship. Yeah, cool, we did our thing. On to the next. That's boring to me. Generally, that's boring. I'm honestly saying that because I've gone on music sets. I've been seen around. I've seen the models. I've seen. I've been in those environments, and it's not to say like the women are not beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful, stunning, but they're not my women. They're not. I'm not taking them home. They're not for me. And that's not to say they're not for the streets, but they're not for me. So for me, if I'm not engaging with you like that, I'm genuinely having a conversation with you. Like, who are you? How are you as a person? I always approach that with women personally for me because I'm just like, okay, let's see what you do, like kind of thing. Like, it doesn't always have to be secular. Your mind doesn't always have to go there. But that's again, that comes with discipline, guys. If you haven't learned discipline or been able to kind of control your lust, it's very hard for you to do.
100%.
We spoke
very
about
hard.
We spoke about this.
You know what I'm trying to say? Very hard for you to do.
I think you said a few things, bro. That will come back to you. So one of the things I want to come back to is you talking about like having kind of that linear example of like a father figure to help, but then also that kind of horizontal in terms of mandem around you.
Yeah.
And that, like them being a certain way, them being godly, them being in relationships, looking to marry, like that also setting your help setting your path and your vision for things. So that's one thing. But obviously going back to, you said talking about therapy.
Yeah.
So I just want to get into that just slightly more in terms of like how you like, did someone tell you to like do therapy, or were you just like, you know what? I need this.
Bro, I was very self-conscious, man. I think after I think me and that girl, like we dissolved, and the way we dissolved, I can tell like you like unintentionally hurt her, but it was like, it was an emotional, like you can see like, okay. And it wasn't even, you're not even trying to be an arsehole. It's just like, you just wasn't there. That might be hard for her to take, but also I knew that I had to get me right. It's like, you have to, because at some point it's like, this becomes a repeated cycle where you're going into things and you can't commit to these girls. So why the hell are you just being in this situation? It becomes longer after a while. So I think lockdown happened at the best time because it allowed me to just sit back and just focus on what I needed to focus on. What was the issue, and tackle the root of it. And when I found out that that's what the case was, in terms of being sexually abused, and I was like, okay, cool. Okay, so how do I then kind of better my relationship going forward so I can actually have empathy? I can have more so an hindsight in the sense of how I will communicate with the girl without feeling that all she wanted from me was just a knack. You know what I'm trying to say? And just going beyond that. So just I think constant therapy helped. And I get it, sometimes therapy doesn't work for everyone. But I guess I think God knew that that's what I needed at the time, and then turned to the Bible. I had to hear what I needed to hear. And my therapist was a man as well. So I had to hear what I needed to hear, digest it, sit with me. Remember, 3 months is more than a long time for you to be, you're sitting, because you're not going anywhere, bro. You're sitting there.
So you're doing it every week?
Yeah, once a week.
Every
week. So you're sitting there, someone's holding you accountable. You're talking over things again. What happened in the last session? So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about it today? And then in between those times, my relationship with my sister was getting stronger because she went therapy. So she was saying that what it was like growing up with me in the house and how I made her feel. But while she's expressing this, she's crying. So it was like being able to understand and having that empathy for her. And I'm like, okay, is this what I was like growing up? Okay.
And that's, again, bro, obviously you haven't said it, but definitely sorry to hear about the like molesting when you were younger and stuff, because bro, do you get what I'm trying to say? Is
I've noticed that a lot of people have gone through it. A lot of men has gone through it, but no one talks about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's Hendo was like, you're one of the first people that's ever.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like literally, like one of the earliest like voices, that I've had, like when I think back to it, that's been like, Rana, men need to go therapy.
Absolutely.
And like, do you know what it is as well? It's different. It's different hearing it from women, and it's different hearing it from another guy that's same demographic as man, would have had similar experiences to man in terms of like how we've grown up or whatever it is, ends and all that kind of stuff. But then it was like, and I was like, right. So when someone like that says it, then it makes you think a bit, okay, like why? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So no, it's good to
it's
hear.
Like we're so quiet about it. We have to deal with it ourselves. But I'm like, bro, don't like. Again, going back to what Iman said. Sometimes I just don't like asking for help. Do you know what I mean? We're so conditioned to just handle everything on our own and bear the weight of that. And some of us are good at tackling that. Some of us are not. Do you know what I mean? And the ones that are not, if you feel like you need therapy, go for it. Go for the ones that you know. Try it. Try therapy. Not all the therapists are going to be the best for you. I genuinely feel like I was just blessed with that moment and that therapist. That it worked for me. Because I had to meet him as well halfway. I had to be willing to share. I had to be willing to open up. I had to be willing to talk about things that I knew was bothering me. And then also have a professional talk about like, okay, it wasn't your fault. That this was happening. This happened to you because X, Y, Z. And this is what's led to this.
Was it difficult to unpack with a therapist, or did you find it like okay to kind of just speak about?
Well, I think I was just ready to just have that release.
A lot had happened before. So I was just like, you know what?
Pause. I was just ready to have that. Sounds mad.
That is mad.
Just have that.
Wait, what was pause?
Release.
have that release.
Oh, fair enough.
Whatever, man. Bro.
But anyway,
You know this as well. So I hear what you're saying as well. Because when I've spoken to man that have done therapy, so I've done therapy as well before, and I'm doing it now as well. One of the things that people always say is kind of like, so it starts off with them like, okay, so like, why do you kind of want to do therapy and like, what's kind of the issue or whatever? And then the people that I've spoken to about it, bro, you just start talking. So like for me, when I first did it, bro, I was talking for like 40 minutes or something. Like that. I'm just talking. And it's because there's stuff that's there that like is there in it, whether or not you want to address it or not. And I speak about this kind of, I've done a video on it as well in terms of like, you know, like people will say, oh, I'm not emotional.
Yeah.
But you're talking about, we're all emotional. So you're talking about very specific emotions, innit?
Yeah,
You're talking about like things like sadness and all that sort of stuff. But there's loads of different sorts of emotions.
There's layers
and
to
whatever,
it.
innit? Loads of different layers and stuff like that. The reason why I say that is like, so when things happen to you in life, you feel there's a feeling that comes with whatever it is that's happened to you. Whether or not you decide to address that feeling or not, it's there. So
exactly.
you can pretend all you want or whatever. But it's actually there. And I think sometimes you don't even necessarily, it's not something that you are actively trying to suppress or something like that. Sometimes like situations will occur whereby all of those things you've been suppressing has now presented itself. And you're like, oh, right. Like I actually do feel a way about this particular thing or whatever. But like when it comes to sitting down with someone and them actually asking you, and you said this before as well, and like when you do therapy, it's very important to just be 100% like tell the truth. Because
all or nothing.
Stick to the truth.
This person is not this person is not connected to you in any sort of way. So like, for example, like, I have a good relationship with my sister and my mum. Like, I can tell them anything. But like for example, if I'm telling a story to my sister about, let's say, something that happened with my brethren, there's a way that I'm going to say it because my sister knows my brethren. So obviously there's going to be a certain, when I'm speaking to somebody who's a therapist who I don't know them, I can give 100%.
Absolutely.
So that moment where it's like, oh, why did you, like, or what made you kind of come to the therapy? Well, for me and the people that I've spoken to, you just kind of speak or whatever. And the one that I had initially was a black woman, and I wanted it to be a black woman because it was like, I relate to black women. I was brought up by my mum, my auntie. So I'm brought up around black women. But one thing that I clocked, my sister asked me the other day about this as well. She was kind of like, so she's done therapy as well. And she did it with a white man. So that was like, she had like she even said to him that a lot of the things that I'm talking about is because of like people like you kind of thing, innit? So like white men and that sort of stuff, innit? But I had a thing whereby with the black woman.
Do you know what I'm about that? As a therapist, you're like,
you know what he said that, like, I think in one of the next sessions, he had to do a bit of like self-reflection. Like, oh, right, you know what you're saying is actually true. Innit? Because like, I actually hear you sort of thing. But with the black women, for me, I found it difficult to speak about certain things because of that kind of like familiarity. So I thought I would want that because I'm more comfortable. That's more comfortable for me. But because of that familiarity, it was kind of like I was talking to my auntie about certain things. Which is a bit techie, innit? But now I'm like, it's like a white. It's so funny because the therapist I'm using now, is a sort of woman that will probably be scared of me if she saw me outside.
Really?
Yeah. So like this, like that whole, obviously it being therapy, it just breaks down all of those walls or whatever. But I say all that to say, like, when you're talking about having like being able to speak and just speak freely, I fully hear you, and I've heard it before. I've experienced it as well, and I've heard it before from the man that I've done therapy.
It's important, man. It's important. I say this every time. Like, I feel like when we don't, as men, be able to kind of communicate, and if we don't have that kind of relationship with our boys where we can't be open and honest with them, who then do we have? If you don't have a father figure in your life, which a lot of us don't, who then do you turn to? And it can't always be our mums or aunties and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? That's not to say that they're not there for us.
Of course.
But you also have to have an outlet outside of that. And again, like Iman was saying, is speaking freely. Because I think when you're being 100% truthful, you're able to kind of tackle the actual crux of what your problems are. And then when you actually do that, then you have to ask yourself, one, are you willing to do the work to actually heal?
Yeah.
Because you can go to therapy and nothing's changing. Bro. You're not healing, bro. You're not, because that's because you're not willing to do the work to actually be able to heal. And on the other side of that is that you actually become a lot more braver now and trust yourself. I think that's what was very important, be able to trust yourself now in environments that made you uncomfortable beforehand or inflicted those traumas beforehand. So now you can actually be in environments where it's like, I've actually dealt with this. I'm strong. I'm stable now. Do you know what I mean? Very important.
It's a process as well. So something like you said, it's important for you to also do the actual work as well. Otherwise, you'll kind of just be you'll see it as a waste or whatever. If you don't use it and do it efficiently, it'll be like a waste. It's like a gym membership that you have.
Exactly.
You go gym, but you have the membership. You go gym, but you're not doing the work outside of the gym. When you go to the gym, you're on your phone. There's nothing wrong with the gym. It's you that's not doing the application. Innit?
Absolutely. So, and just even touching your point, Hendo, he was very specific about what did I actually do. Lockdown gave me a lot of time to reflect and ask questions. So it's almost like the case study was my life. The therapist had moments. So when we was talking, he would pinpoint certain moments that he knew triggered me, and we would have to discuss them. But then again, I'm not able to kind of, not to say that I can't form my bedrooms and boys and stuff because we're not that. But in that period, you feel like you're by yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because the world is at a full stop. There's nothing else going on. So you're in your home for 3 months. So that's your point of contact, who you're speaking freely to. My quote unquote recovery was handled in a way where I'm just like, oh wow, I'm actually able to kind of just be at peace now. And however long that moment you have to get to that point, do it. Because what comes on the other side is you're essentially not only rewired, but you're more so now, the confidence is different now. Like, and then, because after that point, after that's now been done, you didn't actually have to ask. So just in my case in particular, I had to question mark myself where now can I actually open up and have that feeling towards women and want to be with them long term and actually have a relationship with them without thinking that all they wanted was just sex. Can I have that? Let's see what that looks like for me now that I'm older. Do you know what I mean?
And do you know what it is as well? You've mentioned like your faith journey as well throughout this year. And I feel like obviously that's a big thing as well, right? So are they like, to be fair, I'll ask that question afterwards, but just in terms of like, again, that managing, you've kind of weaved it into your story in terms of how it's influenced you at certain points, But in terms of like, now that you're in the industry as well, like we know, I don't know if you're someone that subscribes to conspiracy theories or not, but there's a lot going on. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, so even in terms of managing your faith and being around certain things or being in certain spaces, how is that? Like, how do you manage that?
I say a prayer before I leave the house. I go there with the most purest intention ever. Not wanting anything. I feel like I'll always try to let my content do the best, do the work. That's why I do my reviews as well now. When I'm commenting from as a genuine fan perspective because that's how I kind of started my industry, is just being a fan of a lot of these guys' music. And obviously there was always going to be conspiracy theories about being in the music industry. It is what it is. That's never going to leave, especially with everything going on with Diddy now and everything that's happening. But I think ultimately is that you can't do anything about all that's there. Yes, you might contribute and be in those spaces, but then there's also reasons why you're there. And prime example would be like Burna Boy's listening party. I'm a fan of Burna, bro. Of course I'm going to want to be there. I got invited to it. I was happy. Yes, you see execs, labels, A&Rs, whatever, what have you. And yes, some of them know my faces, some of them don't. Granted, but anyone that I did know, all love, all energy, good vibes, good stuff. I'm here to digest the music and see what Burna's saying because I'm a genuine fan. And when you know his story, you know his story. I'm more Niger boy, you know what I'm trying to say? So always going to root for your own kind of thing. And the album's sounding absolutely incredible. I can't wait for you guys to see it, to be fair. Hear it, to be fair. But stuff like that, I'm not going to want to miss because I'm a genuine fan of music. I love music and I love the fact that I think music is the one medium where you can connect to people through so many different paths and walks, lives and ethnicities. And you all can have a synchronized feeling. I don't know if you guys have ever been at a festival and you just stop and watch people have fun. Like I've seen that and I'm like, yo, you can't replicate this feeling. Like everyone is feeling the same thing all at a festival. And it's just synchronized. And it's just like, yo, like this is beautiful to watch. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but I've always known that if I'm in this industry, you have to have God. You'll be lost. you'd be lost. You'd just be name getting smeared,
Yeah.
shade borrowed this, shade borrowed that. Especially if you've got money and you're just doing what you want to do and not caring, not giving a. I've never wanted to be that person. I think for me, it's just like I knew Reggie was like a focal point. I just wanted to be someone that was just like, yo, he's got the great interviews. I love his content. I can see Sam growing. I love someone's journey when they grow. I love seeing the transition and the changes and the stuff they make. I think that's a beautiful thing. Especially when we come from where we come from.
For sure.
So it sounds like you got like a, not to summarize, but one of the things I'm taking there is kind of like you have a focus and a lane. And you're making sure that you stick to that lane to a certain degree, and that's not about your content or nothing like that. But are there any verses, like, because obviously you've spoken about a lot today, so you've spoken about obviously your childhood, you've spoken about past traumas, you've spoken about mental health.
Hendo, presenter! Presenter! Yeah, recap. Yeah, come on, Hendo. Say no more, sign me up, bro.
Sign me up. Listen, but obviously, like, is there like any like verses in the Bible, any scriptures, any passages that you've sort of held onto like throughout your journey that's either like kept you grounded or been a source of motivation? Or
it always plays between Jeremiah 29:11. I think recently that's been consistently on my Instagram throughout has been Isaiah 43 verse 18 and 19. I could read it here. Like I made sure I wanted the passage to be quite clear in terms of what I was saying, so I wasn't misinterpreting. But it says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past, which for me was very, very crucial. Because of obviously the past that I've had. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wilderness and the streams in the wasteland. So that for me was very prominent because a lot of the times we kind of focus on the past too much and it can have a hindrance on our growth and our potential as human beings. And it's quite heavy to kind of let go and kind of be able to kind of perceive yourself as a new person. But when you generally do have faith that things can move forward, because life doesn't stand still, time doesn't wait for no one. You're not the person who you were 10 years ago. We don't have the same interests. We don't have, we grow in it. That's just an unwritten rule, right? So I think for me, when I read that, I was like, and I remember reading that specifically after I'd, I think 2020, 2021, the belief that I had of just being like, okay, I'm going to start something new. And I want to apply that in everything. And a lot of that started with me reading the Bible more. Like there's a difference between reading the Bible and knowing the Bible. There's a difference between, okay, you're really a child of God or you play child of God. Do you know what I mean? Like even in my church now, I'm actually a children's teacher. So I'm actually, I have to go
serving
and sermon and serve. And that was my way of service. And again, that came from my missus was just like, Sam, you've got a gift, you need to serve. Being able to talk and communicate and do public speaking and speak to people, and that is a gift. It's not from you. And like Iman said, the gift could be taken away. I could be crippled from public thing, but I don't know what it is about public and seeing so much people. The fear's not there, bro. If anything, that gives me energy. So, but it starts in trust as well. Like it's more, the kids now that we have is 40 to 50. The respect that I see, the glee that I see that someone is so tall and young and preaching to them, you can genuinely see the admiration in their eyes, but also talking about the word of God and how important it is. Do you know what I mean?
Needed.
You know what I mean? It's very, very needed. But also seeing people like us in there as well. Because more often than not, it's our aunties. There's a big divide in this. Your teaching of how you was teaching us.
It's
not
already disconnected.
It's not. It's too it's too abrasive. You can't think that that's gonna reach them. These are not the same kids. So what they will see is you speaking to them. Sometimes I even get told them that you talk to them like your friends. No, I talk to them like they're human beings. There's a difference. I talk to them like they're my kids. How I would want to talk to my kids, I'll talk to them. And that's me talking to you on a level because they know one thing I can see in their eyes is like they trust my word when I'm speaking to them. If I'm saying, oh, don't do that, please, like respect. They understand that. Like, don't be disrespectful. Show everyone with respect here. We're all here for a reason. You'll take the time here. Your parents are here for church. Do they want to hear you come back, me telling you off? No, they don't want that.
Mm.
And most of they'll tell you off in front of me and be like, why are you being disrespectful?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? It was very, very important.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know I was, if you told me a year ago I was going to be 7 in church, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Mm.
Bro, I'm like, me? No, but
It's important.
it changes
though,
you.
man.
Yeah,
It's
God,
key.
yeah.
It's an important
But
step, bro.
that's a growth part there in terms
Yeah,
of just change. Something that I couldn't see myself doing a year ago. Like I'll be like, who's got time to be preaching, teaching kids in church? Well, no, you made the time, bro.
Facts.
I made the transition, I made the change, and now I'm part of the system,
Yeah.
the ecosystem that makes it flourish.
Yeah.
And I can see the value that I bring because my auntie always tells me, it's like, these lot love you.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
want
yeah.
you there.
Yeah, bro.
So-
I'm not gonna lie. Do you know what it is? Like, I feel that from your transparency, from like Hen said, bro, from time ago, your transparency
Yeah.
about like life issues, therapy, heartbreak, industry, where you are now, is needed.
For
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
transparency, bro, it's not like, it doesn't go unnoticed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, and we can testify, it don't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
It's helpful,
For sure.
which is,
Bro,
bro,
and it's powerful,
it's,
bro.
bro,
Do
it's
you get?
something being helpful and powerful, bro, in this day and age, bro, there's not a lot of things like that. Most things now are just, they're chatter, smoke, and vapor.
Fluff. No
Do you get me?
substance.
No substance. But,
Yeah.
bro, when it comes to transparency, your journey, bro, it's inspirational, bro. So it's important
100%.
just to clap that up, bro. Like, do you get me? Like, just give me your flowers here, bro.
No,
Do you get what I'm trying to
no,
say?
Yeah, man. And do you know what it is? I feel like there's a lot of gems you've dropped. I feel like there's a lot more gems to come
Yeah,
as well. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
one of those things where we're definitely going to be chopping it up with you more. Do you get what
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying?
come back, bro.
Bro,
I'm
you
ready,
have to,
bro.
You have to, bro.
Yeah,
You have to,
100%,
Sub
bro.
me if you lot need it. Sub me, take me in, bro. I'm ready to come through.
Just
Nah,
ask, bro,
100%.
what can we look out
Do
for,
you know what
bro?
it is as well? And I think like in terms of like giving people their flowers as well, like we got to mention as well, like listen, so I know you mentioned represent radio, but in terms of being a person of the culture and in the culture, you've been on every platform that we can think of, like the link ups to, do you know what I mean, even down to the MTVs. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like you've been.
I said even down, that one's up.
Yeah, but to be fair, but you know what I mean though. Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
let's
yeah.
not take this one lightly, innit? Like, let's talk about man properly. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I feel like you've done a lot already, and even the fact that one of the things that I learned from you, yeah, like just talking to you on the phone the other day, yeah, was like even in terms of just falling in love with your craft again. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And like I feel like the street riddles, yeah, and riddles is like a big part of that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? But like in terms, just talk to us about what we can look out for.
Yeah,
what
what's
we can
next?
support, what we can, do you know what I mean, help push.
Definitely doing pushing more riddles, especially this summer, because I want to see where that's going to take me to. I think a lot of my boys who I'm accountable for challenged me, I think, March to post every day in March.
Okay.
And I did that. And I think from that consistency every day in March, my TikTok doesn't have the maddest of following, but one of them picked off and it did over 100k views just on an 11-second clip. So I was like, that's the power of consistency. So just being more consistent in that. And then I think after summer, let's see what happens, because I think I definitely want to have riddles there. But riddles allows me to just be back out there, man. Back out there in the public.
Yeah.
I might even diversify it right now because of everything that's going on. I'm trying to stay away from politics. I am, but the more as you get older, you read things. We're in a crisis right now in London, isn't it? So there is a knack to actually generally have genuine conversations with people of how people are doing and genuinely just to see how people are going on a day-to-day lives.
Nah,
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because we live in London. But also the light part of just providing that solace for someone for 10 minutes of their day and being just being able to laugh a little bit. Laugh at themselves, laugh at me.
A little bit of escapism.
Yeah, a little bit of escapism is why Riddles was formed, and something I wanted to do that allowed me to interact with people that I've never met before or don't even know that are based in London, right? And then, of course, I will still go back to interviews. I'll definitely look out on that because I'm working on something in the works for that for sure. Something big for that. But yeah, content creating. I'm going to be doing a lot more reviews because I've noticed, obviously, being in this industry, I definitely have a voice. Also, I want to see how much that voice can carry me. And UK music is definitely in a great place right now. But also, what's the next generation saying? Like, do you know what I mean? Because I think the reason why I say the next generation is because maybe Central might have been in a cheat code because I feel like he's already made it. So the struggle is not the same as it would be for someone that is still living in a council estate, still trying to make it out. Like even when I saw, I think I didn't really see the full interval just yet, but I need to watch it. Young Tef, someone's career that I followed for so many years. He's been grafting. Doesn't live on the ends no more.
Yeah.
He's out.
Mm.
He's living comfortable, and it's nice to see.
Yeah,
But also
100%.
the time span is a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
I imagine if Young Tef came out like 2-3 years ago, he probably would have boomed more sooner. Because no one can ever doubt his talent or his craft. You know what I'm trying to say? So he might have got there a lot more quicker, but God said that this is the time where you are, and this is where you are now. So I think definitely. But I'm also what I'm liking as well is that how older generations are still making a comeback. Like you see that come through, like, and the beauty of TikTok as well. Like they're taking to it, like even a Craig David still finding falling in love with his craft again. Do you know what I mean? And coming back into music and doing more of that now. Nelly Furtado, who I had like last year. And she was a big child across the man. I was like, maybe to get an interview. This Grammy Award winning Nelly Furtado working with Timbo and all them lot there. Just to see her come back into the fold. And again, something of Drake that just passing that light because she had an influence on Drake and he brought her out. And that sparked a lot more conversations. Also just wanted to reconnect him. And it's like, also it says like, you don't know when your time is, bro. You can go away, live life, come back and keep boom. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think ultimately your why is very, very important, bro. Like you've got a very important why. Like my missus don't know how to speak Yoruba. I'm flaming her up right now. Like, I'll definitely teach her and stuff. But again, a lot of us who are first generation or second generation who grew up in African homes don't know how to speak Yoruba. You know what I mean? And that's such a sad thing though. Because I think our language is lit.
It's
very lit. I think it's funny. I think it's lit. You know what I mean? There's not a time I've sat and watched a Nollywood movie and I haven't laughed. You know what I mean? So
I got to look through. I got to do Yoruba class. I got to pick that up. But I'm gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna try and cross paths with you when you're doing these riddles still. Just by accident.
You love that still. You love riddles. You love riddles in that still.
We're going out there. I think where have we been so far? We've been Liverpool Street. We've been Oxford Circus. We've been Soho. Where have we been as well? We've been Shoreditch.
Sorry, bro. Look, just accidentally drop your next location.
We did Brixton as well. We did Brixton. Yeah, we've been to a few places. I definitely want to try a couple places in South London. Might probably do Edmonton, Enfield at one point. And then some I'm trying to hit up quite a few spots and then probably try a few like rural locations like festivals and stuff. Get the time because I feel like that'll be the best time ever. Everyone's in a good mood. Some people might be a bit frass.
No, I'm due to feature still, bro. I like riddles, honestly, man. I like riddles.
Oh yeah.
It's
just something light, bro. Like,
it's good, man. It's good.
You should never be afraid to laugh at yourself. Like, life is hard enough.
No, 100%, bro.
Ebbs and flows and stuff. Like, just when's the last time you had a good laugh? Real
bro.
talk. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? That one that really like, your soul is bare. Your stomach's hurting. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So like, I think it's always important to always have laughter. Share that as much time with your family, friends. But try to have that kind of medium there. And I think videos kind of reinvigorated just a new interest. Because I was looking at a point of how can I diversify my content. As much as I do reviews and stuff, it's nice and I'm on radio and I get to go to these listening parties and stuff. But I wanted a lot of stuff to just be like, how can I narrow in myself where it showcases more of my personality and be like, okay, who might see me and be like, oh, you're a serious guy. Like, I never really see you laugh. Okay, here's riddles.
And that's what people really connect with.
Like,
actual personality.
Here's riddles then. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, words.
It borders on the line of where you might think he's asking a secular thing, but it's not. It's actually, if you listen to the riddles, it's actually meant to trip you up. And you laugh at yourself as well. How did I not get this? So, definitely. There's more coming for sure.
Bro. And we're going to watch this space for sure, bro.
Amen.
And listen, it's been a long time coming, but we're glad to have had you on, bro. And obviously many more to come in it.
Listen, tag me in. Tag me. You got my number now. Tag me in. I'm ready to fill in for anyone.
And then also like socials and that. Where can people find you in it? Just plug your socials.
Samuel Eni on all platforms. So Samuel and then ENI on all platforms as well. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Man. Just tap in, man. If it's your first time watching me, YouTube will probably be the best kind of overground. Slide off to TikTok. And then obviously, if you just want to see what man look like, just Instagram and you know what I'm saying. Like,
I hear it.
I hear it. You know the pictures there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I see a couple red carpet pictures.
I hear it.
Don't be surprised if you see me in GQ. Yeah, man of the year, bro.
Come on.
Man of the year. But yeah, man, that's there, man. And make sure you guys keep it followed. The sermon thing, oh guys, I'm telling you, that's the best thing, man.
No,
I love it.
love
Love it.
it.
So sick.
Love,
Thinking of on the spot as well. But yeah, thank you guys for allowing me to kind of come through,
No worries, bro.
share my story. Long time coming. Let's try to keep it. Let's try to get another one this year, man.
Yeah,
For
for
sure.
sure.
So, if anything, I'll probably see you like wireless, yeah?
Pattern it. Pattern, bro.
I don't know that one still.
I
don't know that one.
Alright, bro. Tell us how easy it is.
But yeah, man, love every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Love.
Love.